NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
The St. Louis Rams being introduced as a team here. No individuals today as we welcome you back to the NFL Today, and we welcome again Eric Moulds of the Buffalo Bills on their bye week. Hey, how about Isaac Bruce and Torrey Holton? They've struggled this year like the whole Rams team. You been watching that at all?
Yeah, I've been watching it a little bit. I think that teams are playing him in a lot of man-under techniques with the safeties deep, and that's why Marshall Faulk has been having great games the last 3 weeks.
When you're home, which receiver do you like to watch play?
Well, I love to watch Marvin Harrison play. I think he's one of the best receivers to play this game. I think that with Peyton Manning and without Edgerrin James today, I think it's tough for those guys today.
Thank you. I tried to emphasize that earlier.
Tonight, who do you like? Miami and the Jets.
Well, I have
division.
I have a lot of friends that play for the Miami Dolphins, but tonight I want the New York Jets to win because
Come on, man.
There we go.
Thank you, Eric. We'll see you at halftime, folks. Enjoy the games here on CBS.
All right, Jim, from the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, we're ready for the Rams and the Chargers. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson along with my partner, Brent Jones. And despite a loss last week to the New York Jets, Marty Schottenheimer has his San Diego team rolling at 6-2.
And with a Marty Schottenheimer team, you're going to get two things, a team that can run the ball and a team that can stop the run. Big part of their success so far this year, Gus, has been the play of LaDainian Tomlinson, the best young running back in the National Football League, combines a lot of speed and power.
For the Rams, they've smartened up. Give the ball to Marshall Faulk.
It's been the Marshall plan for the Rams these last 3 weeks. Over 150 yards rushing each game. Just put the team on his shoulders. He can carry them.
Mark Bulger has put the Rams on his shoulders. He's 3-0 as a starter. Back after this.
This is the most contaminated site in the U.S.
Where is that? Anniston, Alabama. Who did it? Monsanto. 60 Minutes tonight.
Oscar winner William Hurt in Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, premieres CBS tonight.
I want my child to experience the wonderful things available online, but her safety is important to me. That's why we chose America Online. AOL invented parental controls and made it even easier to use. I can set limits, who she can talk to, where she can visit, no different than our other rules around the house. I trust AOL. I feel better knowing she's safer. After all, she's my baby.
Better parental controls on America Online 8.0.
Welcome back to NFL Sunday Ticket. I'm Spencer Tillman, serving up your choice of 12 NFL games on this afternoon's enticing buffet. The second half of the season begins with a bang. In Pittsburgh, it's a tale of two quarterbacks. Michael Vick, the former #1 draft pick, takes on the former first-round bust Tommy Maddox. The Lions, meantime, are improving, but can Marty Mornwig's group break through today against the Packers at Lambeau Field? The Colts, trying to hold on to first place in the AFC South, face the Eagles, currently perched atop the NFC East. And the Chiefs, desperate to get their defense to play as well as their offense, have a very tough task with the Niners in San Francisco. You know, one of the reasons the Niners are leading the NFC West is the creativity of their quarterback, Jeff Garcia. Now, do you think he's the league's most innovative quarterback, or does that honor belong to Brett Favre? Email me, spencer@nfl.com, and let me know what you think. If I read your response on the air, you'll receive an NFL t-shirt absolutely free of charge. You know, fans voting has started for this year's NFC and AFC Pro Bowl squads. Head down to your local Radio Shack store, and when you fill out a ballot, you'll have a chance to win an all-access pass to see your favorite stars up close and personal in Hawaii, courtesy of our friends at Motorola. All right, everybody, the early games are ready to begin, and so are we. Enjoy the action, and I'll see you later right here on NFL Sunday Ticket.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Surprise teams of the NFL season, and for two very different reasons. The St. Louis Rams started with 5 straight losses and looked anything but super. But now third-string quarterback Mark Bulger has coach Mike Martz smiling. Bulger and Marshall Faulk have turned the season around. Today, the Rams look for their 4th straight win. Surprisingly, it's been all smiles for the Chargers. A stingy defense and 2 second-year stars have San Diego surging. Now can the Chargers surprise again? It's the National Football League on CBS Sports Week 10, and we're ready for the Chargers and the St. Louis Rams. The opening kick coming up right after this.
Subway presents Fresh Starts, a salute to this season's surprises. Subway, eat fresh. The race for the AFC East is heating up as Tom Brady's near-perfect quarterback rating last week against the Bills helped the Patriots snap a 4-game losing streak. Brady was aided by running back Antoine Smith's season-high 3 touchdowns. The Jets have won 2 out of their last 3 behind quarterback Chad Pennington, who has rejuvenated the Jets after a 1-4 start.
Hey, your turn. Hey, we owe ya. Hold on, guys, come on. You've been eating this stuff 6 nights in a row. I thought Hell Week was over. Let's go to Subway. Oh. Sarah, something hot, something fresh made. Anything but round and greasy.
How about a hot, mouth-watering Dijon horseradish melt on Monterey cheddar cheese bread? Or a delicious, hot, sweet onion chicken teriyaki?
Dude, thanks, man. Wait, guys, which way to the sororities?
Over there.
Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Moments away from the Chargers and the Rams. The Rams have won the toss. They will receive the football. A look at the series note. 8th meeting, the last in 2000, and the Rams racked up 57 points. And they had over 600 yards in total offense. Mike Martz's team coming off a 27-14 win last week at Arizona. They've won 3 in a row after starting the season 0-5. And Marty Schottenheimer's squad stumbling at home last week to the Jets, 44-13 losers. But that 6-2 record looks mighty good for the man that coached in Washington last year with the Redskins. So Wade Ritchie ready to send it away. And back deep, Terrence Wilkins, the former member of the Indianapolis Colts in his first season in St. Louis. So we're underway from St. Louis, and Wilkins will bring it out of the end zone, 5 yards deep. Gets over the 10 up to the 15, make it the 16-yard line, a return of 19 yards. Mark Bulger, 20 of 29 last week, 245 yards, 2 touchdowns, as well as 2 interceptions. And let's take a look at the line protecting Mark Bulger. Up front, Orlando Pace has an injured groin muscle, but he's in there. Newton, McCollum, Timmerman, and St. Clair. The backs and receivers, the great one on the right, Marshall Faulk, 3 straight games with over 150 yards rushing. So they want to give it to him as much as possible. First down and 10 at the 15-yard line for the Rams. First series of the game. They hand it off to Faulk, looking over the right side, and he gets about the 18-yard line, gain of 3. Defensively for the Chargers, they allowed a season-high 165 yards rushing. These are the guys playing in front of Junior Seau, Wiley, Williams, Fisk, and Johnson, and the linebackers. Junior has been nursing a tender ankle all season, missed a couple of games. Edwards comes over from Kansas City. Lieber's a rookie. And in the secondary, Mr. Harrison, Rodney Harrison, back in the lineup after serving a 1-game suspension for an illegal hit on Jerry Rice a few weeks back. Second down and 7 at the 18. Play action. Bulger setting up deep in the pocket over the middle. Torrey Holt with the grab at the 36. Nicely done. A 19-yard gain for the Rams. First down, St. Louis.
And you're going to see Torrey Holt run a deep over route. Mark Bulger has time to stand in the pocket, step up. The Rams like to utilize the middle of the field. Torrey Holt has had a pretty quiet first half of the season. Really expect him to break out here the second half of the season. Talked to him on the sideline before the game, and he just says we have to be patient, but he seems like he had that look in his eye, Gus, where he says we're going to turn this thing on come the second half.
44th reception of the season, and Mark Bulger has been on fire in the first quarter this season. Look at that quarterback rating. First down and 10 at the 37. Bulger again to pass over the middle. Another wide open receiver. This time it's the Reverend Ike. Isaac Bruce, 19-yard gain. So back-to-back 19-yard gains for the Rams. Alex Molden with the tackle.
And we've seen the Chargers come out a little bit 3 deep. Look right there. You see the dead spot over the middle of the field right there, the hole. And Isaac Bruce finds that hole. And Mark Bulger takes a shot and hits the ground. Watch him grab his wrist, Gus. Just wondering if everything's okay. A little shaken off right there.
Well, it's his left wrist. And that is a good sign for the right-handed quarterback out of West Virginia, a native of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. First down and 10 at the San Diego 44. They run the reverse. Ball is bobbled, but they get around the corner. This is Troy Edwards cutting it, and he stumbles forward and gets to the 15. A 27-yard gain for the Rams.
And a great misdirection call. The Rams like to run so much counter. They actually were going to wide receiver right outside here, and watch the pitch from Williams outside. And here's Troy Edwards. Mark Bulger makes a big block that springs Edwards on the outside there, and Edwards is starting to step back up into this offense. 4 big grabs last week, had a big play, 48-yard catch down the middle. And we saw him do some things the second half of the year last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and what a great acquisition for this St. Louis Rams team.
First down and 10 at the 17. Lamar Green in the backfield. They look in the end zone, touchdown, just like that. Ernie Conwell.
One of the great things about the Rams is they have so many weapons. Their tight end, Ernie Conwell, right to the corner here. You see the coverage not getting back in time. And Ernie Conwell has a lot more speed than people realize. Mark Bulger, you talk about accuracy, just putting it right on the numbers.
Extra point is up and good. The first receiving touchdown of the year for the 7th-year man out of the University of Washington. And Mark Bulger perfect, 3 of 3 on the drive, 55 yards, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead.
The Mazda Protege 5. It's the only car to score a perfect 10 in Car and Driver's Fun to Drive category.
Gotta get rid of this pain fast.
The moment of choice, Tylenol or Advil? Which will work better on muscle aches? Advil liquid gels work faster, stronger, better than Tylenol on tough pain. For better relief, advance to Advil.
Dead meat. You're the best. You're the best. Come on, Sergeant.
If they're into movies, go to the one place that has it all. There's something fun for everyone at Best Buy.
Gentlemen, tonight we leave our mark on the game of football. Yeah! We will not, however, leave our mark on the football. Come on, give it up.
How do you use your
Sharpie?
Sharpie?
I talked about this before. Come on.
Mark Bulger leading the Rams on their first offensive series to a touchdown. Conwell with his first receiving touchdown of the year, 17 yards. And they score in 3 minutes and 17 seconds, 5 plays covering 85 yards. Rams send it away. This is Ronnie Jenkins, and he's 8 yards deep in his own end zone. Decides to take a knee. So Drew Brees, the starting quarterback for the Chargers in his second year out of Purdue, struggled last week versus the Jets through 2 interceptions. And this is the line protecting Brees. Damian McIntosh is out of the lineup, normally the left tackle with a sprained ankle, so Ed Ellis gets an opportunity to replace him. And let's take a look at the backs and receivers. LaDainian Tomlinson rushed only 12 times last week. That's a season low at 60 yards rushing. On first down, they run it. Tomlinson over the right side. Not a lot of room. A couple of yards at best. Tommy Polley with the tackle, and the Rams defense held the Cardinals to a season low 235 total yards last week. Grant Wistrom is the leader on the line. Scanina, Pickett, and Little. The linebackers. It's Polley, Duncan, and Davis. And in the secondary, Adam Archuleta. He'll play the linebacker. Herring, former Raven, Bly, and Fisher on the corners. Second down, 8 at the 22. Tomlinson breaking free, gets to the 30, make it the 31. So for this San Diego Chargers team, Brent, as we talked to Marty Schottenheimer yesterday, the best defense is a good offense.
Absolutely, and they want to control the clock, and of course that means a lot of LaDainian Tomlinson. And this is a very important drive for the Chargers, and you hate to say the first drive of the game for your team is important, but they're still coming off that shellacking by the Jets last week, 44-13. Maybe a few question marks in their minds, and you go on the road and the Rams just waltz right down the field and you're down 7-0.
Third down and 1 at the 29. McCrary, Tomlinson in the backfield, and a whistle. Flags on the play. Ed Hockley, your referee.
Before the ball was snapped, snap infraction by the center, number 60. 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
Jason Ball, I think, just sliding the ball right here. The center, you see that? And that's illegal procedure. And Gus, the mark of this Chargers team until last week has been run the ball, stop the run, and play smart. And they had 6 penalties in the first half last week against the Jets. Really put them down. We're down at halftime 31-7. You don't want to make stupid penalties on the road.
46 penalties on the season for the Chargers. 3rd and 6 at the 24. They need to go to the 30, and another penalty coming up against San Diego, and it must be very difficult to play in this dome. This place is really loud.
It's extremely difficult, and I think this is the loudest place that we've been.
And before the ball was snapped, ball start, offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, it's still third down.
Of course, St. Louis has some of the savviest sports fans in the country, and they know when to cheer and when to get going, and Chargers offense looks a little rattled thus far.
And we talked to Drew Brees yesterday. He said they practice operating their offense with serious crowd noise. He said if you can play in Oakland, you can play in anywhere. I don't know if the second-year quarterback was ready for this kind of noise. Third down and 11 at the 19. They need to go to the 30, and another flag. Back-to-back-to-back flags, and this one will go against San Diego as well.
Before the snap, ball start. Offense, number 69. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
This time it's Ed Ellis.
And if you're a San Diego Charger, you're thinking to yourself, oh no, here we go again. These are some of the same things that happened last week against the Jets. And you get yourself in a hole, and they don't necessarily have a catch-up style of offense with the young quarterback. And they've been heavy on the running game, of course, with LaDainian Tomlinson, but on the road with the noise. This young offensive line has done a great job run blocking, but not as many opportunities pass blocking, and that's a concern for this Charger offense.
Chargers struggled last week. They were 1 of 9 on third down conversions. 3rd and 16 at the 14. Here's a screen. Tomlinson out of the backfield gets to the original line of scrimmage, a gain of 7. So the Chargers forced to punt it away. Coming up empty on their first offensive series. Darren Bennett has had a punt of at least 50 yards in 7 of 8 games this season.
And Gus, we've got to comment about this punt team for the Chargers. It's been one of the most horrific units in the National Football League.
Horrific, that's strong.
That is it. If you look at them on film, it's strong too.
So Bennett punting from the 6. High spiraling kick. Wilkins backpedaling to the 26. Trying to get outside, and he will be dropped for a loss. Great job on special teams by the Chargers. Carlos Pohl, backup linebacker with the tackle. A 52-yard punt, a 7-yard loss.
Let's see. Perfect. Which brings us to Mr. Friday.
What is that? Atmosphere? And those double glazed baby back ribs. And wherever utensils.
The Friday's take on dinner? Tonight, dig into our mouth-watering, double-glazed baby back ribs. Glazed twice for a one-of-a-kind Friday's taste. Eat what you love where you eat at Friday's.
Mazda Protege 5. It's the only car to score a perfect 10 in Car and Driver's Fun to Drive category.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Mazda. There's a soul of a sports car in everything we make. TGI Fridays. At Fridays, try one of our delicious menu items tonight, like our double-glazed baby back ribs. And by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
The old courthouse here in St. Louis, located on North 4th Street. Construction began back in 1826. 7-0, the Rams leading the Chargers. Rams with the ball at the 20, first down and 10. Wilkins in motion. They fake the reverse. Bulger sets up in the pocket. A lot of time to throw the ball. Finally dumps it off. Here's Falk trying to get outside and dances out of bounds at the 22. About a 1.5 yard gain. Alex Molden ushering him out of bounds. And Kurt Warner, he wants to be back for next week's game against Chicago on Monday, but I don't know if he'll return that soon.
Well, he threw the ball for the first time on Thursday, and it was a little sore, and actually had a chance to throw Friday a little more velocity, and this was actually this morning. You can see he's putting some oomph into it, starting to get some arm strength and velocity back. He's still going to have to be able to throw that deep in, that deep crossing route, and the deep out routes that we've seen Mark Bulger here the first series complete. That's going to be the telling tale, Gus, and I think it'll probably be a couple more weeks before Kurt Warner gets back.
Second down 9 at the 22. Quick strike to the sideline, and it's caught. A loose ball picked up by the Chargers. Fumbled forward, and the Chargers have it, and they have a touchdown. Unbelievable. Ryan McNeil fumbled the ball to himself, picked it up, and rambled into the end zone for the score. And that's the kind of break that this Chargers team needed.
That's absolutely the break that they needed. And Troy Edwards, I believe, got stripped along that Chargers sideline. And was it McNeil that pulled it out? And here's Mark Bulger just throwing the quick route outside. And actually, it's Alex Molden. You see him going for that strip, and we've seen so much more of that this year. Defenders being aware of stripping that ball out. And McNeil, the former Ram, gets in the end zone, and that's got to feel good.
Edwards, who had such a nice game last week versus Arizona with 4 catches, making a mistake. And the Chargers get on the board. They add the extra point, and with 7:36 to play in the first, the Chargers tie it up at 7 apiece.
Watch the aggressiveness, Gus, of Alex Molden. Gets the tackle and just starts ripping. And that ball comes flying out. And there's McNeil against his former team for 6.
Every Saturday, I get together and play football with the guys. But this Saturday, I had to take a time out.
Hey, Steve, you okay?
It's my throat. It's all dry.
Hey, mine too.
I think I got just what you guys need. Come on.
It was a good thing Brad was there. He explained that we were thirsty, and he gave us ice-cold Bud Lights. He told us that by drinking the Bud Light, parched feeling would go away. You know what? He was right.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
When you're trying to quit smoking, cravings for cigarettes can appear out of nowhere. Nicorette Stop Smoking Gum, used regularly, will help fight them off. If you encounter a really tough craving, you can take an extra piece of Nicorette. Nicorette helps keep cravings at a safe distance. Quit now for the Great American Smokeout, November 21st.
What if the new Kia Sorento was in a race against the other SUVs? Who would win? The little ones would be left in the dust. Some just too honking huge. Others would be afraid of getting dirty. And the rest, they'd be distracted by the wads of cash we save. The midsize Sorento with a 10-year warranty won this unbiased race. After all, it is our commercial. The new Kia Sorento. Make every mile count.
CBS Friday, A Last Dying Wish.
How are we gonna go home?
Sends this ex-cop on a journey through one man's life.
I gotta find out what his mistake was.
All new Hack. Then, Tom Sizemore is riveting in Robbery Homicide Division. Don't miss his can't-look-away performance.
Gotta tell us everything.
Robbery Homicide Division after Hack, Friday.
10-year veteran Ryan McNeil with a big-time play, a 5-yard touchdown on the fumble recovery, and we're tied up at 7 apiece. Troy Edwards making a mistake, but it was also a great defensive play by Alex Molden, who ripped the ball free. This one heading into the end zone and out of bounds, and this San Diego team really focused on special teams after so many miscues last week.
And Gus, Alex Molden does a great job outside. Watch him go ahead and secure the tackle. He gets his left arm on the shoulder pads of Troy Edwards, and then he rips. See that ball come flying out. Now watch this free-for-all down the sidelines. All the Chargers know it's going to be a touchdown. These three. Look at Junior, Rodney, and McNeil. You ever play three flies up when you were a kid and it was just a free-for-all going for that ball?
Three flies up, what's that?
You know, you throw the baseball up in the air and guys kill themselves trying to get the ball.
No, we used to call that kill the man with the football.
Well,
in Detroit.
This was a baseball analogy.
There's Molden. First down and 10 for the Rams. And I believe a timeout has been called. Yes, it has. Timeout.
Timeout San Diego. That's their first charge timeout.
7:36 to play in the first. We're tied up at 7.
Hey, look, it's only $1.
Don't waste your money.
Freeze. Pam needs a second opinion. Luckily, T-Mobile has a camera phone that doesn't cost a fortune. Carry on.
The Ivory Toad of Shanghai.
Can I borrow a buck?
Introducing the $100 camera phone, only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
Okay, you got your file folders, pens, paper, toner. Let's get you some printer labels and you'll be all set.
Jeff Spillane, very underrated.
Here's a guy whose knowledge of thousands of office products has quite frankly changed the way people shop.
Why spend all day on the internet fishing for a rental car? When you can go to Hertz.com. Just click to get our lowest rates and special offers. With Hertz.com, there's no fishing. At Hertz, we know exactly how you feel, so we have exactly what you need.
I think this photo paper is just what you're looking for.
Wow, great price.
David White, 3-time Employee of the Month, Dan.
He has a natural ability to match a customer's needs with his budget. Really a go-to guy in these situations.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. Get more minutes, more features, more service. And by Staples. Get back time. Go to Staples.
Get breaking NFL news, exclusive analysis, and team power rankings. It's all at CBSSportsLine.com or on America Online. Enter keyword CBS Sportsline. 7-7. Alex Molden with the big play so far for San Diego. Rams take over. First down and 10 at their 20. Here's a handoff. Falk over the left side. Bottled up and taken the ground. Nicely done by Ray Lee Johnson. And Alex Molden in his 7th year out of Oregon. He's definitely a family man. He and his wife, Kristen, they have date night, Brent, every Thursday in which they set aside some time. They go out to dinner, maybe see a movie. And every Tuesday when the players are off, they take Isaiah and Elijah out. They always try to take a trip or do something interesting to spend time with his family.
That's great. I used to have date night with my wife when I played, because during the season, otherwise you wouldn't see her. One of these days when you get married, maybe you can have date night.
Thank you very much. I'm surprised she didn't have something better to do. 2nd down and 11 at the 19. Here's a handoff. Second man through is Marshall Falk. Falk over the 20 up to the 22. Leonardo Carson coming up with the stop, a 3-yard gain for Falk.
And we've seen a couple of plays Marshall Falk, but early on we saw Mark Bulger going back to pass and not getting any pressure from this defensive front four from the San Diego Chargers. And that's going to be a significant point as we go along in this game. The Chargers have got to find a way to get to him. They have 24 sacks coming into the game today, although 16 of those sacks were in their first 3 games of the season. Only 8 sacks in the last 5 games. They've got to get some pressure in Bulger's face.
3rd down, 8 at the 22. They need to go to the 30 for first down. Bulger 5 for 5 so far. That one almost intercepted. Just threw it away. Ricky Prohl, the intended receiver. Molden covering. And the Rams forced a punt.
And Gus, for the first time today, the San Diego Chargers brought the blitz. Rodney Harrison, you see him picked up right there by Marshall Falk. And Bulger still had to get rid of that, but nice job by the Rams of picking up the blitz. I think the Chargers brought 8 men on that, and they blocked it up nicely.
Mitch Berger, 6 years in the Minnesota Vikings organization, punting to Tim Dwight, his first punt return of the season. Tamarick Vanover inactive today. Berger gets off a long wobbly punt. Dwight back to his 17. Tim Dwight changing directions and is taken down at the 26-yard line. Leonard Little, who leads this team in sacks with 7, playing special teams. A 60-yard punt and a 9-yard return. So here comes Drew Brees with the game tied at 7.
Pikes Peak, where the wind breaks the speed limit, the snowfall breaks the records, and a single company breaks from the status quo. Audi, the only luxury car company with Quattro all-wheel drive in every model line.
Mr. Stevens? Yeah. Got you down for over 130 channels, $39.99 a month.
Right, so...
every channel's digital quality. There's access to 31 premium movie channels, 60 pay-per-view movie titles a month.
Great. So that can go on the back of the roof?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, good. So go ahead and pull around back.
You work for the cable company, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why settle for cable? Get a 2-room DirecTV system with installation for under $50.
Here you go, sir. Domino's new Buffalo Chicken Kickers.
Wow, real baked chicken delivered right to my door. You must be pulling my leg.
No, sir. That would be your dog.
Introducing Domino's Pizza Buffalo Chicken Kickers. Tender cuts of all-white chicken breast with a kick of spicy buffalo flavor baked through and through. 10 pieces for $5.99.
Man, that's good chicken.
Get the door and get a kick out of dinner tonight. Now get an order of Cinesticks free when you buy a large one-topping pizza for $9.99.
Oscar winner William Hurt stars as FBI agent Robert Hansen,
I'm so proud of you.
the worst traitor in U.S. history. Find out how he did it and the evidence that gave him away.
Isolate him with no access. Who are you playing with?
Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, CBS tonight.
Tie ball game in the first, and Big Mo has changed sidelines.
And you could just feel it with that Alex Molden play. And, of course, the 3-and-out stop by the Chargers.
The Chargers with the momentum. Here's Breeze rolling out of the pocket, fires on the run. Curtis Conway with the grab, and Conway has enough for a first down. And don't forget, Monday on CBS, we started with the King of Queens, followed by Yes Dear, then Everybody Loves Raymond. Still standing, the new show, CSI Miami, and we wrap it up with David Letterman and The Late Show, Monday here on CBS, America's Most Watched Network. Here's the pitch. Tomlinson getting outside with blockers. LaDainian Tomlinson, the young man out of TCU, a native of Waco, Texas, University High School, gains 9 yards.
And what a pleasure it was to talk to that young man. It was funny, we were talking to him about playing against Marshall Faulk, and he said, hey, I remember when I was just a kid watching Marshall Faulk for the first time against BYU when he was at San Diego State, and he said, I want to grow up and be just like him.
He said, I want to be that dude.
That's right, that dude. And he's the closest thing, I think, in the NFL to being like Marshall Faulk with his receiving abilities out of the backfield.
Second down, 1 at the 47. But the Chargers having problems right now with penalties. 3 penalties already in this game. Let's see, here's Ed Hockley, maybe the most buffed referee in all of the National Football League.
I think Ed can look more.
The stakes on the 2 sides of the field are different. The official stake is on the far hash. We will bring it in and measure.
Well, we got different stakes out on the field.
So here comes the crew measuring for the first down.
Got to have those stakes lined up, you know. Kind of like when you guys go out to dinner on Friday night.
There's Ed Hockley.
The southpaw. Love how he does that first down. Look at that. Look at the guns on Ed. He is a buff guy.
That's how you looked when you played.
I know. I wish I could.
Now you're an announcer like us.
Now I got little wispy arms like you. Wispy.
But not Ed Hockley. First down and 10, Chargers at the 48. Breeze to Tomlinson, following his block, stumbles forward, and maybe a yard on the play. Time now for an update. Let's go to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, Gus Johnson, a good day to you, and check out this one right here. John Kitna of the Bengals is picked by Ed Reed of the Baltimore Ravens, and the celebration begins early for Reed. In fact, a little too early right here. The ball's knocked loose. It's recovered in the end zone by Cincinnati. And let's go back to Gus and Brent.
You can never celebrate too early, Jim. And I'm sure Boomer was celebrating on that one.
Oh, yes. Here's Breeze, play action. Looking over the middle, Tomlinson with the catch out of the backfield, rolls his shoulder and gets to the 45, a pickup of 7 yards. Tommy Polley with the tackle on defense. Very important game for the Chargers, Brent, because their schedule is going to get tougher and tougher as the season goes on.
Yeah, they have the toughest second half schedule of any team, I believe, and obviously a big game today. I think just a big confidence game after what happened last week against the Jets.
They play San Francisco, Miami, Denver, Oakland, Buffalo, Kansas City, and they wrap up the season with Seattle. Third down, 3 at the 45. They need to go to the 42 for a first down. Breeze out of the shotgun to the sideline. Nice catch out of bounds. Tim Dwight, all hands on that play, gains 8 yards and picks up the first down.
You know, so much was made about the running backs in this game, but really the team that probably makes the most plays in the passing game is going to have a chance. You see Tim Dwight very well aware of where he is on the field, dragging that back foot, catching that ball with his arms reversed outside. That's a tough catch to be able to stick it in there and bring it in.
A determined wide receiver, Dwight, Only 5'9", 180 pounds, his 21st catch of the year, 1st and 10. Handoff straight ahead, and they get to the 35. Tommy Polly coming up with the tackle on LaDainian Tomlinson. Here's Jim Nantz in New York once again.
All right, we've got an update on Tennessee against the Texans, and it's there to Derek Mason. 22nd game in a row that McNair's thrown a touchdown. 7-0 Titans. Let's go back to Gus and Brent.
And the Titans struggled out of the gate, but they have really turned it on in the last few weeks.
Well, I think that they're the team to beat there in the AFC South.
We'll see them next week when they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2nd down and 9 at the 36 for the Chargers. Here's Breeze with the delayed handoff to Tomlinson. Breaks one tackle. Picks up a yard on the play. Lewis with the tackle. And for the Rams, a very important game. They've won 3 in a row. They started the season losers of 5 straight. Can they get back in this thing?
I think they can get back in this thing. First challenge is to get back to 500. That's when you want to start making some things happen here the second half of the season. I think 10-6 clearly gets them in the playoffs. 9-7 is going to be one of those head-to-head deals, tiebreakers, and so they don't have a lot of room to make mistakes at this point.
3rd down 9 at the 36. They need to go to the 27 for 1st down. Tomlinson with the catch, picks up the 1st down at the 24-yard line. Dre Bly making the tackle.
And we talked about Tomlinson and what he can do coming out of the backfield with his hand. Very impressive route runner and great hands for a running back. And watch Adam Archuleta, thinks he's got him all wrapped up right here. Ends up getting a little bit of limp leg. You see how Tomlinson brings that leg, folds it under, Gus, and there's nothing left to grab. Archuleta's grasping at air, and these Chargers continue marching down the field and killing some clock.
Drew Brees off to a great start. 5 of 5, 44 yards. And this drive over 5 minutes for the Chargers. 1st and 10 at the St. Louis 25. They hand it off to Tomlinson, and this time he goes nowhere. Adam Archuleta, along with Pickett, making the tackle. Archuleta, a walk-on at Arizona State, ended up going there and starting 3 years and became a 1st-round draft pick. So time winding down here in the 1st, and you'll see Adam sometime come up and play a little linebacker.
Yeah, he likes to be involved in that 4-1-6 nickel defense they play, and they stick him in as a DB, but plays linebacker, makes some big plays for him.
So that's the end of the 1st quarter with the score 7 apiece. We'll be back to St. Louis after this message. You're watching the National Football League on CBS.
What are these? Magic Business Binoculars. How do they work? You look through them, you see the future of business. Wow. The future sure looks different.
What do you see?
It's a 3D holographic projection of the world to come.
Things move fast. Everything's integrated. Everything works in real time.
How'd we get everything to work?
I don't know. It says I need another quarter.
Oh, I don't know how to make anything fancy.
Make something homey style.
Hey. Ooh, cheese, beef, more cheese, bacon, 3 more strips. I declare this Extreme Burger the winner.
Oh, ma, you created a Whopper.
For a limited time, get the new Extreme Bacon and Cheese Whopper. Juicy flame-broiled beef, 2 kinds of cheese, 4 strips of bacon at Burger King now.
I made
When he comes back here, grab him.
Go, go!
Everest can be a ferocious mountain. We're always either climbing up overpasses or down the other side. There's nothing flat at all.
The awe-inspiring new Forerunner with advanced technology like downhill assist control, capable of following in the footsteps of the world's great adventurers.
Mount Everest teaches you humility.
This month, Dave's all new with Adam Sandler, Ray Romano, Al Gore, Jack Hanna's Animals, Shania Twain, and George Clooney. Monday, don't miss Robin Williams and CSI Miami's Emily Proctor.
7 apiece, start of the 2nd quarter. And the momentum has swung in favor of this San Diego team after the strip and fumble return for a touchdown by Ryan McNeil.
The Chargers are right where they want to be. 7-7, grinding clock into the second quarter. Almost into the red zone here.
Or as Marty Schottenheimer calls it, the gold zone.
That's right.
2nd and 10 at the 25. 10th play of the drive. Dwight in motion. Here's the pitch. Tomlinson with blockers in front of him. And he gets inside the 20-yard line down to about the 18. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones, and so far, if you're this San Diego team, you are where you want to be.
That's exactly right, and the clock continues to roll, and they've been getting some positive yards, LaDainian Tomlinson, and you've seen a lot of misdirection here from the San Diego Chargers. Fake reverses, guys going different ways. That's because of the fast flow defense of the St. Louis Rams. And they told us that they were going to do more of that because they're so fast or so aggressive. They go to the initial side of the ball or the fake and come back with some things the other way, and nobody's home.
Fans trying to get into it, rooting on the defense. 3rd and 2 at the 17 and a flag on the play. And the Chargers offense.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And the offense is having problems with this crowd noise.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it. And of course, you don't want to do that on 3rd down. You've got an opportunity in 3rd and short, 3. You've got the threat of Tomlinson running the ball. And you've also got the pass, and now you're in a situation where you've got to throw the ball.
What did you guys do when you were with San Francisco and you played here?
We won. It wasn't the same Rams team. The fans weren't the same.
Okay.
They're into it now.
3rd and 7 at the 24. They need to go to the 15. Here's the blitz. Breeze into the end zone for Conway. Incomplete. Broken up at the last moment by Dre Bly.
Well, you can just feel the confidence that Dre Bly has. I think he does on this route one-on-one versus Curtis Conway. I think he does a little Deion Sanders. He lets him get by him and then lulls the quarterback, and watch that makeup speed. You'd see those last 2 or 3 steps. That's what Deion used to do. He'd bait the quarterback into throwing it to the receiver, and then he'd try to pick the ball.
Nicely done by Bly. 40-yard field goal attempt for Steve Christie. It's up and good. So with 14:01 to go in the second quarter, the Chargers take a 10-7 lead on the road.
Things haven't been the same since you came into my life. You found a way to touch my soul, and I'm never, ever, ever gonna let it go. Happiness lies in your own hand. It took me much too long to understand how it could be until you shared your secret with me. Something's coming over. Something's coming over me. My baby's got a secret. Je t'accroche du regard. Tu t'avances vers le pas. Mais il est déjà trop tard. Va pas croire au hasard. 4, tu m'allumes le clock. 5, tu t'accroches du regard.
CBS Tuesday. It's Harm versus Mack like you've never seen them before.
You'll be presiding on the bench.
Objection.
Overruled.
Got to be kidding.
An all-new Jag. Then it's an explosive new Guardian. This attorney's client has a secret that could destroy a family.
There's nothing more you can do.
All new Guardian after Jag. CBS Tuesday.
Chargers with a 10-7 lead here in the second quarter, 14 minutes to go.
You see that Rams defensive line there on the bench. They came off the field and they were huffing and puffing.
They look a little tired.
They sure do.
Wilkins from the 1. And Wilkins stumbles forward, gets to the 20-yard line. Zeke Moreno with the tackle on special teams. A 19-yard return. Monday on television's most watched new show, CSI Miami. This 2-year-old holds the secret to a crime so mysterious, so unthinkable, you'll have to see it to believe it. Don't miss an all-new CSI Miami Monday on CBS, America's most watched network. 1st and 10 at the 20 for the Rams. Here comes Bolger to the line of scrimmage. They hand it off. Falk over the right side. Gets down the sideline and tiptoes out of bounds at the 25. But a flag on the play.
And I think they're going to get Isaac Bruce for holding Alex Molden. And not only was he blocking him in the back, it looked like we got a little pull down there. Definitely had his back, his hands on Molden's back.
Holding, offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Let's watch Isaac Bruce on the outside right here. And there's those arms on the outside of Alex Molden. You see the old drag down. And probably a little bit of that is some good acting by Alex Molden. But where those hands get outside the framework of the body, the officials have been right on top of that. You can't get your hands on the back of a player. They're going to call you every time.
There's Molden off to a great start. We'll have a lot to talk about on date night if this keeps up on Thursday. 1st and long, 20. Bolger all day to throw the football. Underneath, and it's caught. Marshall Faulk chopped down at the 22. Tackled on the play by Junior Seau after a gain of 12.
And what a huge weapon that is. And we saw Mark Bolger just stand for what appeared to be 6 or 7 seconds. We got double coverage against Isaac Bruce here down the field on the post route. And here's the cover. We got double. And you see Marshall Faulk just sneaking out late right off here to the side. And watch what happens when he gets the ball. He sneaks back inside and gets vertical up the field. It's just impressive to have a guy that's a running back that can catch and make some things happen like Marshall Faulk.
2nd down 8 at the 22. Ernie Conwell lines up in the backfield. Bolger firing. That one broken up at the last moment. McNeil as well as Donnie Edwards in on the play. And Donnie Edwards, what a great acquisition coming over from Kansas City, where he led the Chiefs in tackles for the last 5 seasons.
And I'm just surprised more teams don't invoke that strategy. And Marty Schottenheimer talked about not only adding to the strength of your team, the linebacker spot, but you hurt a divisional opponent. You hurt the Kansas City Chiefs, who I think are ranked 32nd in defense in the National Football League. And you see that ball tipped up there, nearly a pick.
He's tied for the league lead in interceptions with 4. 3rd down 8 at the 22. They need to go to the 30. This one's sailing on Bolger, almost picked off again. Quentin Jammer, their 1st-round pick, got his hands on the football, and the Rams sent off the field once again.
Boy, you go back to that Alex Molden strip of Troy Edwards, and this whole momentum of this game completely changed. And you see Kurt Warner on the sideline. I'm sure he's going to go sit down and talk to Mark Bolger and say, hey, these are some of the things that they're doing out there. And it's nice to have a veteran like that being able to be in your ear during the course of a game.
Tim Dwight standing at the 31. Dwight so dangerous, can break one at any time. High, lazy kick. Dwight rather at the 29-yard line, and Tim Dwight gets up to the 44. A 49-yard punt and a 14-yard return. Excellent field position for the Chargers.
What is a girl? What has she got? If not herself, then she has not to say the things she truly feels, and not the words of one who kneels. The record shows I took the blows and did it my way.
Your future, your way. AXA.
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger. with loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
The new Silverado is here. Now with Quadra-Steer four-wheel steering, it's the most maneuverable full-size pickup you can get. Silverado, the truck from Chevy.
Gentlemen, tonight we leave our mark on the game of football. Yeah! We will not, however, leave our mark on the football. Come on, give it up.
How do you use your
You and I
Sharpie?
talked about this before. Come on.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. New Campbell's Chunky Roasted Favorites, hearty soups that fill you up right. And by AXA, your future, your way.
Beautiful fall afternoon here in St. Louis. San Diego with the 10-7 lead. And Marshall Faulk has been taken into the locker room. He walked off on his own. We don't know his status, and we will update you as soon as we do know. First down and 10 at the 44 for the Chargers. Tomlinson lining up in the backfield with McCrary. Play action. Breeze sets up, fires, incomplete, and a flag on the play. This will go against St. Louis. Grant Wistrom.
Well, and Gus, that sure didn't look like a late hit to me unless he was using his helmet as a weapon or getting in the face.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 98. Lowered the head and hit the quarterback in the chest. 15-yard penalty, first down.
And he said that he lowered his head and hit the quarterback in the chest. And you see that
They
using
did.
the helmet as a weapon right under the chin. And they're getting more specific about calling that, but it clearly wasn't late, Gus. It was using your helmet as a weapon. Grant Wistrom doesn't necessarily agree with that call, but we've seen more and more of those type of calls here this year. The league trying to protect the players. Nothing wrong with protecting the guys.
First down and 10 at the 41. Out of the I formation. Tomlinson, the deep man. Play action again. Dwight open across the field, and it's caught at the 15. Tim Dwight in traffic with the grab, a gain of 26. And you have to have a lot of courage to go across the field like that.
Yes, you do, and I think Travis Fisher is going to have a shot on this. I thought this ball hung up just a little bit longer than it needed to. And you see him coming from behind, or actually
Kim Herring.
That's Kim Herring. And that's usually a knockout blow. He just got a little arm tackle. Look at that. He almost missed Dwight.
Chargers threatening once again. Tomlinson running. Chopped down. Fumbles the ball. But I believe he was down. Grant Wistrom recovering. And the fans not happy with the call.
And they're calling Tomlinson down. He went flying through the air, and I believe that he was. And I think that's definitely the right call. We're going to get a chance to look at it, but more importantly, Tomlinson limping off the field. And there's the shot right there on his ankle, it appears, and you see the ball come out after he hits.
So second down and 3 at the 8. Terrell Fletcher in the game replacing Tomlinson, and Fletcher get to about the 7. LaDainian Tomlinson putting up some impressive numbers in the first half. Running and receiving. Marshall Faulk is also out. He went into the locker room. He has to get his foot retaped. He has plantar fasciitis. And they're going to retape it. It's strained plantar fascia, as it's referred to. Third down and 4 at the 9. They need to go to the 5 for first down. Breeze rolling out of the pocket. Throws on the run. Nice catch, first down. Curtis Conway with the reception. And the Chargers pick up 7 yards and a first down.
And Curtis Conway doing a tremendous job of just playing football. Just get open. Trying to find a hole inside the zone. And
Curtis with his 500th career reception. becomes the 71st player in the league's history to come up with 500 career receptions. Needs 42 yards for 7,000 for his career. First and goal at the 2. Out of the offset eye, Tomlinson back in the game, crawls forward and gets down to the goal line. He's about a half-inch shy of a touchdown. Adam Archuleta making the tackle, and this San Diego team this season very successful in the red zone. 27 possessions, 19 touchdowns, and that's what you love to see.
Got to score touchdowns in the red zone. So many times we see teams play for field goals. Field goals don't win you games, and you saw the Chargers first in the NFL. You can't get any better than that.
Second down goal at the 1. Two tight ends in the game for the Chargers. The pitch. Tomlinson to the corner. Touchdown, San Diego. And the Chargers, after being blown out last week, a mistake-filled game against the Jets, they have come out and looked great here in the first half.
And Tommy Polley, 52 for the Rams. He can run. Look at this. He thinks he's got the angle. You want to see how fast LaDainian Tomlinson is? It's not even close. He had him by 2 yards.
Extra point up and good. A lot of people saying after last week that the Chargers are pretenders, ready to jump off the bandwagon. But with 8:54 to go in the second, they lead the Rams 17-7 on the road.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
I see linebackers blitz, cornerbacks too, cartwheels and splits, and foam-fingered fools, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see guys who kick, girls who cheer, picture in picture, and ice cold beer. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Sam, I'm at the airport.
Hey, welcome back, pal.
You remember that conversation we had?
I sure do, buddy. Which conversation was that?
The one where I said I don't do any ads.
No ads. I really got to start writing things down.
Sam, that's the only one, right?
Absolutely. That's it. It was a one-shot deal.
Sam!
There might be one or two buses. Maybe.
Access NFL.com now on America Online. Get live game day coverage and real-time stats at AOL keyword NFL.com.
Marty Schottenheimer, who ranks 9th on the NFL's all-time list for regular season wins, coaching his 4th team in the National Football League, and he's got them off to their best start since 1994. And they're off to a great start in this game, up 17-7, scoring 17 unanswered points. Wilkins back deep. He starts from the goal line. Hurdling, gets to the 20. Flags all over the field, and Wilkins dragged down from behind. Orlando Ruff with the tackle after a 36-yard run.
I think there was 2 or 3 illegal blocks in the back. Gus, see 4 flags on the field. That might be a new record.
So Ed Hockley has his pick of violations here.
There were 2 fouls on the receiving team during the return. Holding, number 55, that is declined. There was also an illegal block in the back, number 41. That's enforced 10 yards from the spot of the foul. St. Louis keeps the ball, first down.
So Nick Sorensen and Robert Thomas Next Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern, NFL stars Donovan McNabb, Tony Gonzalez, and the brothers Gramatica join their animated counterparts for an hour of football and fun for the entire family on NFL Backyard Basics, football tips from the pros. That's Saturday on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Look at the first 4 possessions for the Rams. After scoring the touchdown, they've come up empty. They've had bad field position from the 21, 20, and 20.
And we talked about that fumble, or that strip by Alex Molden changing the momentum in this game, but really the big part of it has been along the line of scrimmage. Both the defensive line and offensive line for the Chargers have really knuckled under and started putting them pressure down.
Bulger firing underneath. This one is cradled and caught at the 33-yard line by Isaac Bruce. An 18-yard gain.
When we talk about the deep routes that the Rams run, you see this deep over right here. Isaac Bruce getting great separation. It's not all about speed, Gus. It's about separation. And it's so important, and that comes to route running and getting over your knees and making sharp breaks and accelerating more lateral, actually, than vertical. And Isaac Bruce has become one of the craftsmen at running routes in the National Football League.
1st and 10 at the 32. Play action, Bulger setting up, fires over the middle. Ball caught by Lamar Gordon, the rookie out of North Dakota State. Ben Lieber, the rookie out of Kansas State, with the tackle.
And we saw Lamar Gordon getting some reps the other day in practice.
Yeah.
Catching the ball well and making some nice moves out there.
He supplanted Trung Candidate as the number 2 back behind Marshall Faulk. And Faulk has not come back onto the field after going into the locker room. There's Lamar, 6'1", 214. On the season, he's got 8 catches. This time he runs the football. Huge opening down to the 45, and a flag on the play at the St. Louis 40. A 16-yard pickup. Rogers Beckett, the safety, with the tackle, but this one will be brought back.
And they might have gotten Andy McCollum, the center, for holding.
Holding. Offense number 67. 10-yard penalty, repeat, 2nd down.
Andy McCollum.
I think he's going against Leonardo Carson right here. And just at corner of my eye, I thought I saw a little bit of a grab. And you see that arm getting outside, and then the old, you see that? You see him like falling off and try to trip him?
Yeah.
It's the old arms are going down. They just happen to land on the guy's ankle trick. A lot of times, I'm not kidding you.
That's how you blocked in San Francisco.
Well, yes, I did. But a lot of times the officials didn't catch it.
Marshall Faulk back on the sideline now. He's returned to the field after getting his foot taped. 2nd down and 13 at the 29.
Push.
Gordon, a single setback.
Run, watch out.
Conwell in motion. Bulger to pass. Firing it quickly. And what a broken tackle. Manu Maliuna with his 4th reception of the season, a gain of 11.
Big tight end doing a nice spin move, saying hey to Junior, letting him know he's in the game. Just catching a little drag route out to the side, watch the spin back. Bang, take that, Junior. You don't see that too often. Junior was lining up the shot. Full speed, head down. Whoa, the big man had a little spin move on me. You see Junior's a little frustrated. Like I said, you don't see him miss a whole lot of those.
3rd down and 2 from the 40. Need to go to the 42. Ricky Kroll, the motion man. Bulger with time. Underneath, 1st down. Torrey Holt. A gain of 6. Quentin Jammer making the stop. 1st down, St. Louis.
And you see Mark Bulger continuing to have time to throw the ball. As much pressure as this front 4 has come with from the Chargers, when Bulger gets time, he can make some things happen. And you hear so many times about these young quarterbacks managing games. Tired of hearing that term, managing games. Hey, this guy can play. He can be a starter in this league, Mark Bulger.
And how about the offensive line? Doing really well, rather, over the last 3 weeks. Here's the inside handoff. Back in the game, and Marshall dragged down at the 47 after a gain of 7. Rodney Harrison with the tackle. Now this week, log on to NFL.com as Phil Simms offers his thoughts on the worst and most annoying cliches you hear during game telecasts. It's a can't miss read at NFL.com or on America Online. Enter keyword NFL.com.
Hey, Phil Simms better not have anything to say about our telecast. I'm going to come after him, and I'm going to bring the wood.
That is one of the worst cliches that you'll hear in NFL telecast. Second and 3 at the 47. Falk breaking it back, spinning, still on his feet. What a run by Marcus Falk down to the San Diego 36. An 11-yard gain, and they're on their feet, and the fans here in St. Louis appreciate the creativity of one of the league's best.
Well, I guess that tape worked, and this is just classic Marshall Falk. Little counter, pulling both guys to the left side, and you see him stop, spin, stop on a dime. Now watch the spin move. That's what he's classic for, coming out of a big pile with the spin move. So elusive, so explosive, and he is just the best. You know, you just got to say it. He's the best.
5 carries, 23 yards, and St. Louis calls a timeout with 4:08 to go in the second quarter. Rams driving down 17-7.
The new Alcatraz. No one has ever broken out. This. Ooh. But for $200 million, someone's about to break in.
It's party, boys.
Now,
what's going on? We got a problem.
The prisoners are taking the law into their own hands.
Let her rip. That's what I'm talking about.
Half Past Dead. Rated PG-13. Opens everywhere Friday.
He saw.
Your turn.
We owe ya. Hold on, guys, come on. You've been eating this stuff 6 nights in a row. I thought Hell Week was over. Let's go to Subway. Let's go. Sarah, something hot, something fresh made. Anything but round and greasy.
How about a hot, mouth-watering Dijon horseradish melt on Monterey cheddar cheese bread? Or a delicious hot sweet onion chicken teriyaki?
Jim, thanks, man. Wait, guys, which way to the sororities?
Over there. Monday, a photo overexposes the King of Queens.
No one's gonna know it's your behind.
It was my front. Then it's a Yes Dear concert with the Wiggles.
It's like a mosh pit for 3-year-olds.
And Raymond takes on the world's most annoying kid. Next, why is this husband sneaking around?
You shaved. You didn't shave on our wedding day.
In all fairness, neither did you.
An all-new Still Standing. It's all here on TV's Best Night of Comedy, CBS Monday. And later, catch Dave on an all-new Late Show.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway. Fresh-made sandwiches on fresh baked bread. Subway, eat fresh. And by Gateway, a better way.
Welcome back to St. Louis, where the Rams have the football at the San Diego 36, and some of the individual leaders. Mark Bulger off to another great start, 10 of 13. He's thrown a touchdown. Marshall Falk, 5 carries, 23 yards. And Isaac Bruce has 2 big catches for 37. This is the 7th play of the drive that started at the St. Louis 14. Empty backfield. Bulger sets up a screen. Conwell trying to get outside, and he's chopped down. Quentin Jammer, the rookie first-round pick out of Texas, and they're expecting a lot out of this young man. Jammer, though, came into camp late, and he is a backup.
You see Junior hopping around, and I think one of the challenges you have down there when you play the Rams in Mike Martz's offensive system, they do so much shifting, changing strength, motion. Guys are coming at you from every different angle, and they really try to get a lot of mismatches, and half the battle is the same thing that I have to deal with every week trying to be successful. You don't want to get confused. And so far, the Chargers haven't got confused on defense.
2nd and 7. You're too hard on yourself. Bulger flopped, throwing on the run, and he throws a strike. Torrey Holt with the catch, gets out of bounds inside the San Diego 20. A 16-yard gain, and this kid looks great.
And we said he can throw the ball. He's not a manage the game type of quarterback. He's got a gun. He's very accurate, throwing the classic Rams comeback route. You got to throw deep outs when you're a Rams quarterback, and you've got to throw deep ins.
So, if Bulger continues to be successful 3-0, is there quarterback controversy in St. Louis?
Come on.
Just asking.
No way.
1st and 10 at the 17. Marshall Faulk running, bobbled up, and taken down at the 15.
You love that quarterback controversy stuff.
Well, I'm a journalist.
Okay.
And it makes for good reading and good watching.
And I'm not. So go ahead, give it to me. What's your argument? Why there should be one?
My argument is this. If he keeps winning, and this is just for the sake of argument, Kurt Warner was 1 of 8. He threw 1 touchdown, 8 interceptions while the starter. Okay, well, I'll just be quiet.
I don't even need to say anything.
2-time MVP. Okay.
That's right.
We're just trying to create a little controversy.
Yeah.
With you in the booth.
Heck, you keep that up, you can get a radio show here in St. Louis.
2nd down and 8 at the 15. Here's the pitch. Faulk allowing his blocks to develop, and he goes out of bounds at the 14. Ryan McNeil chasing him out of bounds. Injured player on the field at the 20. It's Rayleigh Johnson, who gets up slowly. Johnson getting his bell rung. He's a little wobbly as he gets to his feet.
Because you focus on one of the main things, talking about Marshall Faulk waiting for his blocks to develop. That's one of the things that he does as well as any running back in the league. And LaDainian Tomlinson does that as well. We've seen a couple young backs in this league hit the hole too hard, and their blocks aren't set up.
So we're at the 2-minute warning with the score 17-7, but the Rams are in good shape.
Way cool. Way to my heart. Talk this way. Think of another way. Way to go. 1 way, 2 way, ways to get it done. My way. For the highway. Do you know the way? See the world in a beautiful way and see the Milky Way. By the way, I can do all this with Gateway, a better way.
We should change before we pick up the girls. Okay.
Chevy Avalanche. It changes from a pickup to an SUV.
What are you doing?
Avalanche, like a rock.
Men think about women every 5.3 seconds. Men think about soap? Probably never, because they're all the same, except this one. High-endurance deodorant soap made just for guys. Maybe now women will think about you every 5.3 seconds. From Old Spice.
Oscar winner William Hurt in Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, premieres CBS tonight.
CBS Monday.
Gardner saw a bloody kid all on her own.
This 2-year-old holds the secret. The blood had to come from somewhere.
Miami-Dade Police Department!
To a crime scene so mysterious, so unthinkable. Did you ever hear of a self-inflicted gunshot wound at the back?
You'll have to see it to believe it. CSI Miami, all new CBS Monday.
17-7, 2 minutes remaining in the first half. And don't forget, coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report, join Jim, Dion, Dan, Boomer, and special guest, Buffalo Bills wide receiver Eric Moulds, for all the scores and highlights. That's coming up on the Nextel Halftime Report. So far, the biggest play of the game came on defense for the Chargers.
Yeah, not only points, and you're going to see Alex Molden go ahead and strip the ball from Troy Edwards, and that was just a free throw at that point. He's going to get the touchdown. McNeil scoops it up, aces out his teammates, and the momentum shifted right there.
3rd down and 7 for the Rams at the San Diego 14. Bulger throwing it underneath, caught, and Isaac Bruce dancing out of bounds at the 8-yard line. Rodney Harrison there to usher him out of bounds.
And Gus,
Make it to 7.
I'm not so sure that Isaac Bruce didn't actually step backwards and come up short of the 1st down. And Isaac Bruce, trying to avoid a hit, instead of getting up and knowing where that marker is, stepped lateral and got out of bounds. And you see the shot of it. That's going to be close. That looks like an inch or two short. And Isaac Bruce coming underneath the zone. You see the big cushion, and you see him trying to make a move right there, and he steps out. And I don't know about that.
He got a great spot.
Yeah, I don't know.
And what a beautiful shot. Mark Enman, our sideline cameraman, just really teeing it up nicely for us.
Not a bad spot there for Isaac Bruce. Got away with one right there. That's veteran receiving. He knew it the whole time.
Home cooking for Mike Martz and the Rams with 1:54 to go. What a delightful man to talk to.
He is great, and so many coaches fancy themselves as offensive geniuses, and this is a guy that I really believe is.
First and goal at the 7. Conwell.
Hey, it's going over there.
Make it Hodgins lining up in the backfield. They hand it off. Marshall Faulk spinning, still on his feet. Pulled down at the 4. A 3-yard pickup. Donnie Edwards, the middle linebacker, making the tackle.
And so much has been said about Marshall Faulk, of course, the last 3 games with over 150 yards. But really the biggest difference in this Rams offense is the play of the offensive line. These guys have been playing spectacular these last 3 games. The first couple games of the season, they had some guys banged up. Orlando Pace was banged up. We had some injuries. Guys weren't feeling good, but they're playing as cohesive as I've seen an offensive line play in the National Football League.
13th play of the drive. They've eaten up 7 minutes and 10 seconds, and Faulk again, this time nowhere to go. Tried to break it back, and Donnie Edwards was sitting there waiting for him.
Boy, and how about Donnie Edwards all over the field? Of course, we talked about him coming over from the Chiefs. Big number 59, and not only is a great intense competitor inside, but what a great cover linebacker as well. You see him, he's not going to be juked out by Marshall Faulk.
And when you look, Brent, at some of these great backs like Marshall Faulk or Edgerrin James or Barry Sanders or an Emmitt Smith, they have a certain way of hopping when they run.
Yeah, the great ones sure do, and I think that elusiveness, change of direction, all those things, stop on a dime are all important.
Here comes the blitz, picked up. They dump it off. Ball loose, a fumble. San Diego has it. No flags on the play. McNeil with his second fumble recovery of the game. And the Rams shoot themselves in the foot inside the San Diego 5-yard line.
Boy, what looked like a great call initially against the blitz turns into a big turnover. I thought Marshall Faulk was going in. You don't see a lot of middle screens run right side in here, but here's the shot and just turn around. And initially, you see that ball.
Wiley.
You see that ball come out. I'm not so sure right here if Vernon Fox isn't going to have a touchdown.
Ryan McNeil returning it, and the officials are huddling.
Boy, Vernon Fox hangs on to that ball. I'm just wondering if there's not enough Rams offensive players to get in his way down the sideline.
There was a fumble on the play. The question was whether a San Diego player picked it up and then fumbled it again. We're inside 2 minutes, we would return it to the spot of the first San Diego fumble. However, the first San Diego man that recovered the ball never had complete possession. Therefore, it is a legal return. San Diego keeps the ball at the dead ball spot, first down.
You remember the old holy roller, the Oakland Raiders kicking the ball around, getting it into the end zone. Inside 2 minutes, you can't do the old kick it around scenario. But there's this hit on Marshall Faulk and Vernon Fox. I'm seeing a whole lot of green down here initially. And the Rams catch a break by Fox having the ball slip out of his hands. And there's McNeil again to take a shot at his old team.
And how great was Ed Hockley's explanation? You can tell he speaks in front of people. He's a lawyer. And take a look this season, the giveaways by the Rams.
Takes a knee, man.
First and 10. And San Diego will take it and get out of the first half up by 10. Some boos being heard here at the Dome in St. Louis. Mike Martz obviously frustrated with opportunities. As Marshall Faulk, a costly mistake at the end of the first half, but Alex Molden with the huge play to really change the momentum of this game for Marty Schottenheimer's Chargers. And after being blown out last week, they head into the locker room at halftime with a 17-7 lead.
CBS Thursday will keep you guessing. Clues from the castaways' personal lives could be used against them.
That'd be enough to vote him off.
In the ultimate Survivor Showdown.
The tribe has spoken.
Then, when big-time boxing comes to town, all hell breaks loose in the ring.
Dead boxer.
And out.
Gang member.
Welcome to Fight Night.
All new CSI. And a teen goes missing. But why would his sister lie and say he was dead?
Who told you to tell us the body was Williams?
An all-new Survivor, CSI, and Without a Trace, CBS Thursday.
Emmy winner Sean Hayes is Jerry Lewis. Martin and Lewis, CBS, November 24th.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Microsoft.
When software quickly connects supply and demand, that's one degree of separation. That's business with .NET from Microsoft.
So, Vanessa, like my new phone? Sleek, huh?
Yeah, Ving, it's different.
All the latest features and big buttons.
Yeah, Ving, but don't you think it's kind of...
Did I mention big buttons?
He loves his big phone, and you'll love our big Motorola deals. At Radio Shack, get the Motorola V120C for just $9.99 with activation, regularly $19.99. While you're at Radio Shack, cast your vote for your favorite NFL All-Stars. Radio Shack, you've got questions, we've got answers.
Introducing a new idea from America Online. New America Online 8.0. We listened to everything you asked for and designed new AOL 8.0 with better, more personal ways to stay close to the people you care about, the things that matter most, and to do it all more easily and more safely. AOL 8.0. It's not just a new version, it's a whole new vision.
Welcome.
Our mission here in Afghanistan is to help out the ground troops that get into scuffles with the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. I'm a guidance and control specialist, avionics guy. We control the situation by dropping bombs or lighting up the targets. In other locations like Kuwait, when we're over there doing the no-fly zone for Iraq, it's more of a search and rescue mission. Like, you know, a helicopter coming down with injured or a few dead bodies, and we realize, like, whoa, we're not in Los Angeles, we're in a hostile environment. And people ask you, why do you put yourself in the military where you can be in harm's way? And it's for my mother. She actually delivers the mail, and she supported 3 children off of that job.
When my son knew he was going into the Air Force, he told me that the reason he enlisted is because he wanted to go save the world. So that's why I made this sign for him. So I'm telling him right now, Anthony, go save the world.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions. CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions.
And off Fifth Avenue in New York, beautiful day here in Manhattan. Good to have you with us. Jim Nance on the Nextel Halftime Report. Dan Theon and Boomer and Eric Molds of the Buffalo Bills here watching all these games. Oh, yeah.
Great time.
Great time. Pretty good way to live on a Sunday.
Hey, I can used to doing this.
Well, hang in there and watch all this stuff come at you now. San Diego and the Rams, and how about this first half performance by the Chargers?
Well, the story early on really is Marshall Faulk is not running the ball. He only got 27 yards in the first half. You see a little trickery right here by the St. Louis Rams. Troy Edwards fumbles the ball, cuts back inside for a big gain early on, 27 yards, gets down inside the 20-yard line for the Rams. Then a few plays later, Mark Bulger hits Ernie Cromwell for a touchdown, 17 yards right there in the corner of the end zone. Opening drive, 7-0 St. Louis Rams. Then a screen pass out to Troy Edwards. Watch this strip of Alex Molden, and he picks up the ball. Watch how lucky you get right here. Bounces right back into his hands, push him in the end zone, touchdown for Ryan McNeil. And then LaDainian Thompson with a quick toss sweep to the left, gets in for a touchdown. The St. Diego Chargers up 17-0 or 17-7 in the first half.
As you called on the NFL today.
I did call it. Yes, I did.
How about Cincinnati down 10 to Baltimore? Some wild action in this one, and one highlight that we'll be seeing maybe for a long, long time.
This is unbelievable. Here's John Kitna, drops back to pass, and he throws it to the wrong guy. Ed Reed, safety for the Baltimore Ravens. He's going to take it back for a touchdown, right, Dion?
Not yet. Don't celebrate yet. You've never been there before. Okay, don't let things like this happen. Oh!
No, we've shown enough highlights like this. You would think guys around the NFL know not to do this. And the Bengals recover this for a touchback. And Dick LeBeau has something to smile about. But as we were saying, this game has been wild. Already, I think it is 24-14. Second half hasn't even started yet. But here's John Kitna. You know, Jeff Blake's on the other side. He's known for the long ball. John Kitna says, I can do it too. A 38-yard touchdown pass to Chad Johnson. And moments ago, a 95-yard kick return. Take a look at this. Down the side. Lamont Brightfold takes it all the way. Mistackled by the Bengals. And that's what happens when you're the Bengals. You get beat by a team that you should be better than. 24-14, and they're not even at halftime.
They guaranteed a win last week, and you guaranteed a Bengal win today.
Man, we got a second half to go. We're second half.
Okay, you're right. Texans are down 7 to the Titans. Carr's been sacked twice, picked once, and McNair has yet another touchdown pass.
Another touchdown pass, 22nd consecutive game for Eddie George, 12 for 51. Guess what, fellas? You're not going to believe this. David Carr just got sacked again. Sack one out of the day. Aaron McNair hitting Derek Mason up the middle. He stretches out. After further review, they didn't even review this. His knee was down, but you know what do the Houston Texans care? Because they're going to score anyway. Bad snap. The wind aided this ball, and the punter right here, Chad Stanley, tries to run it for the first down, and you see again, Carr fumbles on the snap. Keith Bullock recovers. That sets up Joe Nedney right down the middle. In baseball, this will be called a strike.
Nedney, nothing but net, and the Titans lead at 10. And the Colts. Forget Edgerrin James. Bring on James Mungro.
Hey, slow down. Slow your roll, Jim. 3-8 without Edgerrin James. I told you that stat, but you know what? James, not Monroe, Mungro.
He's growing.
And right now, he's growing for 39 yards. And the guy looks strong carrying the opposing defenders. Man, and this is his first touchdown of his career. He's going to pay for it. Ow! That had to hurt. He paid for it, but he gets in anyway. And right here, what happens on this play?
Peyton Manning beats the blitz. He fakes it, throws it up to Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison do what he does best, scoring touchdown.
That's why you like that guy.
Oh, definitely.
14
score more touchdowns than you, do you, Aaron?
The Eagles and Green Bay, the only two teams not to lose a home game this year. The Eagles down 8. Meanwhile, the Giants 10 up on Minnesota at the 2-minute mark, approaching that in the second quarter, and the Giants Stackhouse with his first career touchdown. And Favre has fantastic first half numbers. He's only had a couple of misfires, and Bubba Franks caught one of them, 23-7, Green Bay in that one. And the Saints at Carolina. Deuce with another touchdown. Pete's back in the lineup for Carolina and has thrown for a score in that one. Meanwhile, at Pittsburgh, it's Tommy Maddox again. 2 touchdown passes, one of them to Plexico Burress. That's
touchdown, Tommy.
I tell you, that's a great combo there. It's Maddox and Burress. That are really, I mean, since he took over almost every single game in the end zone. Well done, Eric Moulds.
Thank you.
Good to have you here. Second half's coming up next. Thanks for being with us on the Nextel Halftime Report.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions.
Oscar winner William Hurt stars as Robert Hansen in the true story of the most notorious spy in U.S. history.
I'm at my best when I'm working for both sides at once.
He was the perfect husband and the perfect FBI agent.
I'm so proud of you.
He was also selling out his country, one secret at a time.
Let me see it!
Now I know how a genius feels.
Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, CBS Tonight.
CBS Sports presents the Nextel Halftime Report. Nextel, bringing you wireless solutions.
Chargers up by 10 over the Rams at halftime, and these were the ceremonies that were held during halftime today in honor of Veterans Day, which is officially observed tomorrow. And we'll return to St. Louis after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
Morocco. Exotic and dangerous. All new Amazing Race, CBS Wednesday.
Alert. You have reached the end of the internet. You have seen everything there is to see. Please go back. Now.
DirecTV DSL, up to 50 times faster than dial-up. Pay no startup costs and get your first month free. Call 1-877-4DSL-JOY now.
I thought you were surfing the internet.
Yeah, I finished it.
So how's it coming?
Good. This one looks pretty exotic.
Cool.
Mosquito nets. What was that? Maybe not that exotic.
Great.
Everything you need to choose the hotel that's right for you.
Expedia.com.
How long have you been waiting?
You live for technology. Love your handheld and digital camera. Why not choose a tire that's as technologically advanced? Bridgestone. Created with a vision, tested with a vengeance. By a brand that's been passionate about quality tires for over 70 years. Bridgestone. Welcome to the future.
Here's your forecast. 63 degrees with scattered showers throughout the day.
All right. Hey, we got Chad coming in from Wall Street. Chad, what's happening out in the market?
The S&P is trading at heavy volume as the Dow is up and the NASDAQ is up.
Looks like everything's looking up today. We got Chopper John coming in with a traffic report. Chopper John.
Yeah, Jim, you want to board the Old Mill Parkway?
I love Chopper John.
When you can do all this and more with a wireless phone, that's M-Life from AT&T Wireless. Your mobile life made better.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Bridgestone.
17-7, halftime here in St. Louis. Gus Johnson, Brent Jones with you, and I guess turnovers are the big statistics here in this first half. The Rams as a team, they've only turned the ball over 6 times on fumbles the entire season, twice in the first half today.
Yeah, you know, and then that strip by Alex Molden, you know, against Troy Edwards, that momentum just really shifted here in the first half. Big play. Rams were already up 7-0, got the ball back, had good position. There's the ball out on the ground. It's bouncing around, and McNeil's going to pick it up and to battle with his teammates to see who's going to get the touchdown. Then at the end of the half, perfect call against the blitz, a little middle screen to Marshall Faulk. Watch Marcellus Wiley go ahead and strip that ball. And Vernon Fox, he's got a touchdown. Rams got a break right here. If he hangs onto the ball, it actually slides out of his hands. Nobody around, you see, and then that ball comes back up. Once again, McNeil recovers the ball, but Rams, 8-minute, 39-second drive right there, and they came away with no points. And so you see the turnovers are so significant. One of those turnovers resulted in 7 points for the Chargers. The other one actually should have been a touchdown for the Rams.
Start of the second half, and San Diego will get the football to start the second half. On the other sideline, though, if you're the Chargers, you have to feel really good about where you sit right now heading into the second half.
Well, I think that they really do, and that's what they want to do. They wanted to come out today, get a lead, and grind the clock. You're going to see a lot more LaDainian Tomlinson here in the second half, and maybe look for a big pass play, maybe up a play-action fake to Tomlinson.
So here we go. Rashae Caldwell, Ronnie Jenkins back deep. This is Jenkins inside his own 5. Ronnie Jenkins running it straight ahead. And he gets over the 25 up to the 28, a 26-yard return. So the quarterback comparison, very efficient quarterbacking by both men. Breeze, 7 of 8, 77 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Bolger, 14 of 17, 141 yards. A touchdown, no picks.
And I think it speaks to the accuracy of both these young quarterbacks, what they can do. And Mark Bolger getting a chance to maybe throw the ball a little bit more. But the Chargers are doing exactly what they want to do coming in the game, stopping the run and running the ball themselves.
Tim Dwight in motion. 1st and 10 from the 27. They hand it to Tomlinson, breaks it back. LaDainian Tomlinson with all kinds of running room, gets up to the 42, a pickup of 15.
And you've got to talk about this offensive line for the Chargers. They've done a phenomenal job run blocking. Watch the block right there. Steven Alexander, the tight end, seals the end down on the ground. That creates that hole for Tomlinson to burst through. And what speed he's got. Some great acceleration. And if there's just the slightest crevice, he's going to sneak through it and be off to the races.
Remember, Damian McIntosh isn't playing. He has a high ankle sprain. Ed Ellis replacing him at left tackle. 1st and 10 at the 42. A handoff again. Tomlinson hopping, skipping, gets inside Rams territory. And Travis Fisher coming up with the tackle, but another 8-yard gain.
And he told us he wanted to be just like Marshall Faulk.
He looked like him there.
That dude, exactly right. And it's that stop on a dime, lateral movement, acceleration, speed, moves through the hole. And look at the comparison, Gus, this season coming into today. And I think probably the thing that makes Tomlinson most like Marshall Faulk, beside his running ability, are his great hands coming out of the backfield.
2nd down 1 at the 49. Delayed handoff. Tomlinson again. A steady diet of LaDainian Tomlinson. Ryan Young with the tackle.
Not a good sign for the Rams defense here starting the second half. Obviously the momentum had swung. We talked about the Molden play, but going into halftime, their offense having the ball for over 8 minutes, coming away with 0 points. That really gives the momentum to San Diego at halftime. And so what you want to do as a defense is you want to come out in the second half and immediately stop that momentum. But the Chargers have continued it with the running of LaDainian Tomlinson.
Keeping the fans out of the game as well. 1st and 10 at the 46. Breeze throwing on the run, incomplete. Dwight, the intended receiver. And this St. Louis team, they are known for their great offense, but I tell you what, they have a great coach on the defensive side who should be a head coach in this league very soon in Lovie Smith.
And I think you will see that here in the next year or two. Of course, Lovie Smith coming in from Tampa here a few years ago, changing this defense. It was really kind of the weak spot on this team. And last year they improved in 22 of 23 defensive categories. They've been in the top 10 this year. Just really changed the style and aggressiveness of this defense for the Rams.
2nd and 10 at the 46. Flag on the play.
False start, offense, number 21. 5-yard penalty, it's still 2nd down.
Tomlinson moving.
You know, you should never do that. Backs and wide receivers, they aren't allowed to be offsides.
And how about Marty Schottenheimer and what he's been able to bring to this San Diego squad? And I talked to Junior Seau, and he told us that Marty brings focus, intensity, passion, and most of all, structure to this team. 2nd and 15 at the 49. They run the reverse. Dwight trying to get outside, nothing doing. Dwight out of bounds at the 45. Leonard Little with the push, and Lovie Smith's defense ready on the play. That's a loss of 3 yards.
And Gus, you talk about the structure that Junior was talking about, and I think that was probably been one of the biggest changes here in San Diego. Just from the years that I played them and the years that I've covered them, they just kind of had that loosey-goosey atmosphere. Like they didn't practice as intense as some teams. Not to say that they weren't all professionals, but Marty came in with a plan, a structure, a system is what Junior was talking about. Hey, we're going to run the ball, we're going to be aggressive on defense, and players are buying into that system.
On 3rd and 18, here's the screen, Terrell Fletcher. And Fletcher gets to the 44-yard line. They needed to get to the 36 for first. It's a 12-yard gain. And the Chargers are forced to punt it away. Lovie Smith, and what a trio of coaches in Tampa while he was there. Tony Dungy, Herman Edwards, and Lovie Smith. 2 of those 3 coaches, head coaches, and Smith should be the next. Bennett at the 44. Terrence Wilkins back deep at the 10. End over end kick, Aussie style, and it's fair caught at the 12. A 28-yard punt. But Lovie Smith has to be pleased with the way the defense picked it up. And St. Louis has it again.
What was that Passat commercial? The one with the fancy all-wheel drive thingy. What was the deal? If one wheel starts slipping, power gets taken away from it and sent to the other wheels. That'd be a good thing to have.
Just a reminder, the 4Motion all-wheel drive system from Volkswagen is only available from Volkswagen.
Has my boss Paul Vitti gone nuts?
I feel pretty, also pretty.
Can a shrink help him?
I work in the suburbs. I handle neurotic soccer moms and alcoholic Gentiles.
Can he make it on the outside? Robert De Niro, Billy Crystal.
I said pull him back up. Hey, that ain't what I heard.
Then you heard what you wanted to hear.
I guess you got me there.
Analyze that. Rated R. Starts Friday, December 6th.
Game day kicks off in the dawn's early light. Work behind the scenes to get it right. From the pigskin makers to the hard hat men, the special teams and the big game plan. This is for the people who never play it down, but really make it rock when the game's in town. This spot's for you. And you and you and you. This spot's for you.
To keep another guy from dating his dream girl, Becker has to tell the biggest lie of his life.
What?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, God.
You're completely emotionally retarded.
A brand new Becker tonight.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
11:34 to go, third quarter, 17-7. Chargers with the lead over the St. Louis Rams here at Edward Jones, the Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis.
You know, the Rams are 19-0 when Marshall Faulk gets over 100 yards. He's in the 20s today.
And some confusion on the field for the Rams coming out of the television timeout. So the Rams burn their first timeout of the second half. Back after this.
Keys. Gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Introducing the 270 horsepower Passat W8. How you use it is entirely up to you.
What is it?
It's a UBA. The UBA? Universal Business Adapter.
What's it do?
It connects anything to everything.
What's this for?
Your laptop, your mainframe, call center, Unix servers, Linux servers, internet, supply chain, payroll system, HR, email.
Slick.
Is it affordable? Fast?
Easy. Very.
Does it work in Europe?
You need an adapter.
My life has never been more demanding. And to help keep my mind and body active, there's Centrum Performance. It's a complete multi with higher levels of bees, plus ginkgo and ginseng to help re-energize my mind and body.
Centrum Performance. Life demands it.
Mr. Friday. What is that? Double glazed baby back ribs. And wherever you utensils.
Tonight, dig into our mouth-watering, double-glazed baby back ribs. Glazed twice for a one-of-a-kind Friday's taste.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. IBM. E-business is the game. Play to win. And by the United States Marine Corps. For 227 years of faithful service, thank you, Marines. Happy birthday.
The Gateway Arch commemorating the western growth of the United States. St. Louis with the football at their own 13. First down and 10. Here's Bolger, a flag on the play. Looking up top, Bolger for Holt. He has it out of bounds. Make it incomplete. Juggling it out of bounds. Torrey Holt. But let's see.
There was an illegal formation on the play. The initial setup had an ineligible number on the left end of the line before the shift. That is illegal formation by rule. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
And if you're going to be an eligible receiver on the line, you have to report to the official. And the Rams, an auspicious start because of coming out, getting a timeout after the TV timeout. A little confusion, and then to have a penalty. That's not exactly the way you want to bring momentum back into the game.
So the numbers on Bulger, the last drive of the first half, 8 of 8, 70 yards. But they failed to score as Marshall Faulk fumbled the football. We don't see that happen too often. The Rams have only 6 lost fumbles on the season. Coming into this game, they have 2 today. Here's Faulk cutting it back, and Faulk goes down. Junior Seau in on the play. Next Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we begin with Olympus College football today when the SEC is rocking on CBS as Georgia takes on Auburn. A great college atmosphere, great college action next Saturday on CBS. 3rd down 10 at the 13. They need to go to the 23 for first down. They're 2 of 5 on 3rd down conversions. Bulger all day to throw the ball over the middle. It's caught on the first down. Ricky Proehl at the 35. A 20-yard gain. Alex Molden brought him down.
And Ricky Proehl just doesn't get enough credit for what he brings to an offense. Great job of separating. You see Mark Bulger have a lot of time here, and of course Molden has Proehl tied up. Then all of a sudden you see the separation created right there by Ricky Proehl, who knows an awful lot about running routes. Maybe not the fastest receiver, but we said before, it's not all about how fast you are, it's about creating separation.
Alex Molden has been playing terrific football this afternoon.
He sure has. He's been their most consistent corner midway through the season, and that's a big blow if he's out of the game for the San Diego team.
Gets up, gets off the field on his own. That's a good sign. In his 7th season out of Oregon. He must leave for a minimum of 1 play since the game was stopped because of his injury.
And I think we're going to get to see Quentin Jammer, who's been playing a lot of nickel coverage for the Chargers, their 1st-round pick.
It's a great name for a cornerback, right?
Darn right. Can't get a better name. It'd be like if you were a wide receiver and it'd be Billy Sweethands or something.
First down and 10 at the 34. Bulger cocking, firing down the field. Incomplete. Intended for Isaac Bruce, and Rodney Harrison was there.
And you see that ball just underthrown a little bit. Mark Bulger staying in the pocket to the last second and taking a big shot. And you see that ball just a little short. Rodney Harrison on the coverage down the field, and Isaac Bruce just coming back. And Rodney Harrison doing a great job of just keeping his left arm in the breadbasket of Isaac Bruce. And there's the shot that Bulger takes from Marcellus Wiley. But Rodney Harrison, you've got to give him credit. It wasn't pass interference as much as the fans wanted it to be. And was falling away, but kept that arm right in the way.
Harrison returning after that 1-game suspension for the late hit on Jerry Rice, and another timeout called by the Rams. So with 10:05 to go in the 3rd, they have 1 timeout remaining.
The passage is intense, but if you complete the journey, you will find your destiny among the world's greatest warriors. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Good value.
Price is right. What's the resolution?
2400 DPI.
Oh, brilliant display of team chemistry, Dan. Yeah, Charles Rosen and Matt Herman not only have a command of the products, they anticipate exactly where the other's going to be on the floor.
Go to hyperspeed now! Flip!
I'll never forget you. Never.
Ving?
What?
Just pick a movie.
Really get into movies with the finest from RCA at Radio Shack. Like a 27-inch color stereo TV, only $249.99. And make the movie experience real with this home theater with DVD, now just $299.99.
How about this?
No, please.
Move along, little doggy.
Radio Shack.
Okay, you got your file folders, pens, paper, toner. Let's get you some printer labels and you'll be all set.
Jeff Spillane, very underrated.
Here's a guy whose knowledge of thousands of office products has quite frankly changed the way people shop.
Access NFL.com now on America Online. Get live game day coverage and real-time stats at AOL keyword NFL.com.
When the Amazing Race travels through Morocco, there's a roadblock even we didn't expect.
The local official comes and we're detained.
All new Amazing Race, CBS Wednesday.
17-7, 10:05 to go, and what could be better? You're at a football game, you're with your dad, you're munching on some cotton candy.
I hope she's sharing some with her dad. That is great. It doesn't get any better than that when you're a kid.
2nd down and 10 at the 34 for the Rams. Play action, Bulger, pump fake down the sideline. Holt is open, hauls it in at the 29. Great throw, and even better catch for Torrey Holt.
And Gus, you called it right off the bat, the pump fake, and that was to hold the safety, Rogers Beckett, keep him from getting over. Bulger pump fakes into the middle of the field. Watch 42, Rogers Beckett, react to that pump fake. He's supposed to get wide, and see him just holds him just long enough to keep him from getting over the top. And what a nice grab, Torrey Holt. That is a tough catch going away over the top of the shoulder. You see him bring it into the body. Tremendous grab.
39-yard gain for Torrey Holt. 1st and 10 for the Rams at the San Diego 27. Bulger pumping again into the end zone. Touchdown. Flag on the play, though, 27 yards.
Yeah, it's defensive pass interference, I'm imagining, Gus, and it didn't matter. Isaac Bruce emerged with the ball. Mark Bulger, we talked about his accuracy, putting it right on the money right there. And as much as the Chargers argue, I don't think they're coming away with this one.
Pass interference, defense, number 37. The penalties decline. Touchdown.
So there goes the Reverend Ike. A beautiful gesture, handing it off to a fan in the stands. There you go.
Nice.
That ball is a keeper.
And you're going to see a nice wheel route right here by Isaac Bruce. McNeil right on him, and talk about a toss by Bulger, putting it right on the shoulder pad.
Extra point is up and good. Happy birthday, Isaac Bruce. And he gives the Rams fans a present here.
Welcome to the kingdom.
Hey, what's up?
Shaq.
How you doing?
Hey.
What's up?
Shaq.
I gotta have an extreme bacon and cheese Whopper.
You got it.
The original Whopper, America's favorite burger, just got extreme. For a limited time, get juicy flame-broiled beef, 2 kinds of cheese, and 4 strips of crispy bacon. You gotta have the extreme bacon and cheese Whopper at Burger King now.
Welcome to the kingdom, baby.
Is there a problem?
Yeah, you whacked me pretty hard there.
Whack? No, I might have tapped at parking, but I didn't whack it.
Yeah, you slammed into me there.
Slam.
Yeah, slam. What kind of...
It's fine.
That's misaligned. You can't replace that. We'll have to get that in Europe someplace.
Okay,
I'm glad. Oh, look who's here. I'm glad you're here to see this. I can't drive this home, and my wife's upstairs giving blood. I don't know if I mentioned that.
The new Passat wagon. It only looks like $1 million.
Oh, I'm not an internist, but I think I got some bleeding going on here.
Motel6.com now has special Click 6 web bargains that'll save you even more when you book online. Mark my words, this internet thing, it's going to catch on. I'm Tom Bodett, and we'll leave the light on for you at Accor Hotel.
Pushing myself to the limit is what this is all about, and I need an antiperspirant that can keep up. That's why I use High Endurance Clear Gel. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. A Clear Gel that strong? I'm there. Old Spice High Endurance Clear Gel.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Burger King. Now for a limited time, get the new Extreme Bacon and Cheese Whopper at Burger King. At BK, you got it. And by High Endurance Clear Gel from Old Spice.
17-14, Isaac Bruce with the 59th touchdown of his illustrious career. He's second all-time on the team. They'll kick it away. Jenkins. Ronnie Jenkins over the 30. Up to the 33. And let's take another look at the touchdown.
And Gus, watch Isaac Bruce. He's going to run a wheel route, which is a little out and up. And what you'd like to have is you'd like to have Ryan McNeil a little tighter. He's actually giving him some cushion right here, which is what you want if you're a Charger. Now watch when he turns it up. Look at the acceleration. Isaac Bruce right by him. That ball delivered by Mark Bulger. And you see the flag come in.
Looks like a pick play there.
You know what? It's a little hook by the outside guy and then out and up by the inside guy. And boy, you've got to throw that perfect. That was quite a toss by Bulger.
Two great throws on that drive by Mark Bulger. First and 10 at the 33. And they have allowed the fans to get back into this game. Ed Ellis, the left tackle.
Offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And you know what? I'm going to stick up for Ed Ellis. And then that wasn't a good spot to come in and stick up for him. But you haven't heard a lot about Grant Wistrom today. Had one shot, actually a late hit on Drew Brees, but Ed Ellis has done an admirable job, the big offensive tackle for the Chargers, going against a quick speed rusher in Wistrom, who has a great motor, spin moves, outside moves, and he's done a nice job of holding Wistrom off so far.
That's the 5th false start on the Chargers today. First down and 15 at the 28. Brees to the sideline. Beautiful throw out of bounds. Tim Dwight with the catch at the 41. A 14-yard pickup. That'll bring up 3rd down, make it 2nd down and 1.
Tim Dwight one-on-one against Travis Fisher, who's done a nice job. The rookie for the Rams, you see him get spun around. When those hips open up, the receiver has you exactly where he wants you. There's no way to cover up that ground. Nice route by Tim Dwight.
2nd down 1. McCrary, Tomlinson line up in the eye. Quick strike. Dwight juggles it, makes the catch, and almost broke a big one. A nice open field tackle by Dre Bly. If not, Tim Dwight could have picked up about 30 yards on the play. Instead, he'll settle for 5.
Boy, one of the toughest things to do coming out of that backfield, that quick toss to you, little flanker screen, is to catch the ball. Keep your eyes on the ball while you know the defender's closing on you. You saw Dwight bobble the ball a little bit.
Dre Bly, the only player in the University of North Carolina history to be selected a 3-time first-team All-America. Brees over the middle, tipped and picked off. Kim Herring, he has it at the 40. Lovie Smith has his guys rolling here in the 2nd half.
And Gus, you're going to see one of the better, most athletic interceptions that I've seen from a secondary in a long time. Kim Herring, who might have had his best game last week. Watch this effort. Ball up in the air, little over Alexander's head, tips it. Look at that, laying out full extension. Not only that, Gus, grabbing it with your hands and pulling it into your body before you hit the ground.
Lovie appreciating the effort by his defense. And let's face it, the offense has been mistake prone for this Rams team, especially in the first half, and the defense really keeping them in this game.
They really are, and you can consistently can see the coverages by this Rams secondary. They're all over these receivers for the Chargers, and you know, you just wonder. I'm a little surprised we didn't see a little bit more LaDainian Tomlinson that drive. They're trying to throw the ball, the Chargers, and heck, you want to burn clock, you've got the lead, just keep pounding at him. I don't know if they've done a nice job of stopping Tomlinson yet today.
Here's the pitch. Falk breaking tackles, gets to the 44. And how about Kim Herring? That was his 3rd straight game with an interception. There's Kim, the Penn State product. He won a Super Bowl with the Baltimore Ravens in 2000 and has found a home here in St. Louis.
Boy, he's been really playing some solid ball these last couple weeks, and Like you said, that's as athletic as a interception as you're going to see. Vertical, hands, draw it in. Usually defensive backs can't handle all those things at the same time.
2nd and 6 at the 44. Empty backfield. 5 receiver package for the Rams. Bulger underneath. Torrey Holt with the grab. Breaks it back. Holt slides down wisely at the 45. An 11-yard gain for the man out of North Carolina State.
Boy, Gus, and this offensive line of the St. Louis Rams continues to give Mark Bulger time. Big John St. Clair, the right tackle, going against Marcellus Wiley, who's a Pro Bowler and a load on the outside, continues to do a nice job, not getting overcommitted, pushing him right by Mark Bulger, allowing for Torrey Holt to get the ball and make some things happen downfield. But you give Bulger time, he is going to gas you with all these toys that he has for the offense of the St. Louis Rams.
1st and 10 at the San Diego 45. Marshall Faulk skipping. Marshall Faulk is coming off another 150-yard game. 3 consecutive 150-yard games. And he's in elite company. Check this out. Earl Campbell, O.J. Simpson. Remember, he won the rushing title with 2,000 yards and 73. Faulk. And then there's the great Jim Brown back in 1958.
And I think last week's performance by Faulk with the flu and cramps and having to run through that was probably most significant, because I've had cramps before, and running through those is as painful as it can be.
Had 178 yards rushing last week. Play action Bulger. Firing, puts touch on this one, and it's caught. The big tight end, Brandon Maliuna. A 27-yard pickup, his 2nd catch of the game.
And we've seen Manu Maliuna go ahead the first time and have that nice spin move against Junior Seau and break some tackles. This time showing the people he can get down the field and make the catch and get some yards after the catch as well. Surprised you haven't brought up that quarterback controversy on this drive.
You know, I was thinking about it, but I didn't want to say anything. But Mark Bulger, I tell you what, folks, this kid is getting better and better every day. I mean, look at the numbers. 19 of 24, 266. No wonder he broke all of Dan Marino's records at Center Catholic High. Bulger underneath. The Revenant fumbles, and it's picked up again by the Chargers. Donnie Edwards sprinting towards the end zone. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. No flags on the field. Wow. Touchdown San Diego.
And Gus, the story of this game is going to be the wide receivers for the St. Louis Rams not being able to hang on to the ball. We saw Troy Edwards get it stripped earlier. Isaac Bruce right there. And how about these bounces the Chargers have gotten? The ball's bounced right up into their defender's hands. There's the tackle. Perfect form tackle. And there goes Edwards. You see the ball bouncing right up. And a nice block right there by Quentin Jammer that sprung him. And it's all over. Donnie Edwards has wheels, as you can see.
Ben Lieber, the rookie out of Kansas State, with the tackle, and he forced the fumble. With 5:09 to go in the 3rd, Donnie Edwards, an 89-yard fumble return, and here's Lieber.
3rd round pick, picture perfect tackle, helmet on the ball.
Hello, Moto.
Did you know the air in your home can be up to 5 times more polluted than air outside? That indoor pollutants like dander can aggravate allergies and trigger asthma? What can you do? Get the Filtrete Ultra Allergen Reduction Filter. It's up to 30 times better than all other 1-inch filters at capturing airborne dust, bacteria, and pollen. And it meets Health House guidelines. If you don't take care of the air in your home, who will? Filtrete filters from 3M.
This holiday season, Honda's got great deals on new sport and utility ATVs, so you can play in the snow or in the dirt. Qualified buyers can get $29 payments for the first 6 months with a Honda card. Or lock in our lowest rate of the year, a 4.9% fixed APR through Honda Financial Services. Plus, you can get up to $300 in bonus bucks when you purchase select models. But hurry, gifts that go are going fast.
Oscar winner William Hurt stars as Robert Henson, the most notorious spy in U.S. history, in the true story of the perfect husband and the perfect FBI agent who betrayed his country and his family.
Let me see it!
Master Spy, the Robert Henson story, CBS tonight.
Time in, time out. The Chargers come up with big plays when they need them. And Donnie Edwards, his 5th interception this season.
I think that was a fumble recovery.
That was a fumble recovery, exactly.
Our stat guys. Too many bratwursts down there.
And they take a knee in the end zone, so the Rams will have it at the 20. Let's go back to it. And watch the tackle by Ben Lieber.
Ben Lieber, picture perfect tackle. Now watch after that ball is out. Watch Adam Timmerman. He's going to come and drill Rogers Beckett. He doesn't have the ball. Puts his head down. Bang! Tackles the wrong guy. Crushing. Now watch Quentin Jammer on the block on Mark Bulger. Nice block. Donnie Edwards cut back, looking like a running back. Looking like Tomlinson.
Well, he's also running away from 2 offensive linemen, so he looks really, really fast.
Wreck my call.
Donnie Edwards, what a play. First down and 10 now for the Rams. Trailing 24-14. Bulger sets up a screen to Marshall Faulk. Here's Faulk at the 30. And he's taken down by Rodney Harrison at the 32. A 13-yard gain. And Rodney Harrison, he's an interesting character in the National Football League. He's probably fined more than any other player in the league. Brent, and is he a dirty player? What's your opinion?
I don't think so, but then I'm friends with him. I used to play against him, and I always enjoyed it because he was the toughest safety that I ever went against. And you're going to see some shots of him. The shot on Jerry Rice right here. That is a blow, and he got suspended for that. But hey, football's a tough game, and I like the way Rodney Harrison plays the game. He's tough. I respect him, and I respected him when he knocked the crap out of me too.
Play action. Bulger dumps it off again. This time it's Hodgins, and Hodgins tackled at the 44. Junior Seau, an 11-yard gain for James Hodgins.
And, you know, I guarantee you, Gus, when you play a team, the receivers know Rodney Harrison's there. And if that just slows you down one step coming across the middle, or if it makes you peek out of your helmet, takes your eye off the ball, that's a big win for Rodney. And nobody's hit harder than Rodney since Ronnie Lott left the game. Thank God I only had to practice against Ronnie Lott.
1st and 10 at the 44 for the Rams. Here's a jump ball. Loose. Almost another turnover for the Rams. Marcellus Wiley had a hot potato in his hands.
And he had visions of 6. The big defensive end, he's saying, man, if I got that, he was already thinking about what type of dance he was going to do in the end zone.
So the officials having another conference at the 31.
The Chargers were coming with the blitz, and it seems like every time the Chargers blitz, the Rams have a screen set up or some type of an offshoot of a screen, and a little fake reverse action on that one, and the ball just popped up in the air.
There was no foul for illegal touching by the offensive player. The ball was first touched by number 34. However, there was a personal foul roughing the passer by the defense, number 78, threw a forearm to the quarterback's neck. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
Marty Schottenheimer doesn't like that call. It was so late. There were so many things going on. I didn't even see it initially. There's the ball out. And it bounces off the helmet of 34. And you see Marcellus Wiley right there. So the ball's off Lamar Gordon's helmet.
So it's a 15-yard penalty called against San Diego.
And I don't know if we ever saw Mark Bulger in the late hit. Here he is.
They say he put a forearm to his
I don't know. That looks like a clean tackle unless after the play landed on him and kept the forearm up in Mark Bulger's throat. But dumb penalty nevertheless at this point.
1st and 10 at the San Diego 41. Bulger. Another flag on the play. This one caught. Torrey Holt goes over 100 yards if it stands. Out of bounds at the 24. It's a pickup of 16, but it goes against the Rams.
And I think big Jamal Williams was getting held down there.
Holding offense number 62. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Adam Timmerman. Let's quickly check in with Jim Nantz in New York.
One of the big stories here today, guys, is up in Philadelphia, where the Eagles are getting torched by Peyton Manning and the Indianapolis Colts. Play action. Is there anybody better? Manning to Harrison for the 2nd time today. 3 touchdown passes overall for Manning, and it's 28-6. Back to you.
And you kept telling me, thanks, Jim, that was a trap game today.
Trap game for sure. The Colts have been playing terrible, and they have too much pride to continue it, and they're just letting it loose through the air, and Peyton Manning.
Indianapolis walloping Philadelphia. Bulger. Another great catch by Holt. Did he fumble? Did he fumble? They call it an incomplete pass. And he got crunched by Quentin Jammer.
And remember, possession and 2 feet down. And they're calling that incomplete, but Quentin Jammer, that is a great name. Did he get 2 feet down? Looks like possession.
Make that Rott Harrison with the tackle.
Boy, and then from that angle, it looks like he got him down and the ball was out. Torrey Holt getting up, showing that athletic ability, and
wow, that's a sandwich.
Wow, that was
Junior
awful
Seau
close.
and Rodney.
Yeah, that's not a sandwich you want to be in the middle of.
2nd down and 20 at the 49. Seau showing the blitz. Bulger drops it off. Marshall Faulk trying to make the first man miss. But a great open field tackle by Fox. And Vernon Fox brings down Marshall Faulk after a gain of 5.
Now, most of the weeks that we do a game, we'd say, oh, there's just another tackle, and we'd do a promo where we'd start talking about something else. But that was a spectacular tackle. Vernon Fox, Marshall Faulk, open field, getting ready to cut it back. Vernon Fox almost had that 6 points right before the end of the first half. He's thinking about that ball slipping out of his hands.
So 3rd and 15 at the 46. They need to go to the 31 for a first down. Bulger, straight drop back. Fires to the sideline. There's a cut. Incomplete. Intended for Isaac Bruce. Quentin Jammer right there.
Well, and you just got to be so impressed with what Mark Bulger does. And even though that one was out of bounds, the timing, that is such a tough throw all the way across the field. And Isaac Bruce, boy, sure looks like he's making an effort to keep his feet in, but you see him juggling that ball going out of bounds. If he would have caught it clean, I think he was doing a great job of keeping his feet in. You see him drag that toe. But still one heck of a throw by Bulger.
Bulger on his way to 300 yards today. And a challenge on the field. Mike Martz throwing the flag.
And I think that's one of those deals where Isaac Bruce came over and thought he had the ball and probably told Mike Martz, hey, I think I had it. But remember, to overturn the call on the field, Gus, it has to be irrefutable evidence. And I don't know, that ball looked like it was juggling around there. And of course, Isaac Bruce, it looked to me like he kept his feet in, did a nice job of dragging that toe. But I don't know that he had possession. And if he did have possession, it would have been after his feet were in bounds. They were going out of bounds at that point.
Hard to tell here. Looked like he had his feet in. Here's the other angle.
And you see the ball. It's just, you're going to see right here, his toes dragging right there. But you see that ball starting to, well, keep going. Yeah, that's a tough one. It's not a great shot there. You see the feet are in, Gus. It's whether he had possession or not. You know, that's a tough challenge because you can't tell whether he had possession or not. And if it's not irrefutable evidence, the call in the field stands.
And you have to remember, if this call is not reversed, the Rams will blow their final timeout.
In the third quarter.
In the third quarter of action. Once again.
And it's still about the time that he had possession and were those 2 feet in when he had possession. I think that we can clearly see that he had those 2 feet in bounds, but you can't tell for sure whether he had possession of the ball and whether that ball was juggling around down there. And I really like the replay system. We've had a lot of replays this year. Our officials have been right on top of them. And the way the rules are set up, I absolutely like it. And I wish we had that some of the years when I played. It's a nice fallback position for the officials. And, you know, sometimes things happen bang, bang, and it's tough to make that call. And you see how many rulings have been overturned, 39 thus far this year.
Let's take another look.
Well, I don't think you're going to see irrefutable evidence to overturn it.
You can't see whether or not he's juggling the football, but you can see that his feet are in.
Well, and really it goes back to what the official on that side of the field saw going away. There's the shot right there. He's looking right at it to see if indeed he helped. And you see that double clutch. You see that ball spinning out there, Gus? You know what? Just go back and see that angle one more time. That's why I didn't think he caught it. This is it. You see that ball's getting juggled around right here. Take it back a few more frames. You guys are actually listening to me. Okay, go ahead. Run it forward. Holy cow, this is like being on Monday night. You see that ball sneaking out right there? You see it hit the ground?
Yes, it did.
There you go. It wasn't a catch.
There's not evidence from looking at the replay to determine whether that toe actually did hit the ground. Therefore, the ruling on the field stands. It's an incomplete pass. There is a charge timeout.
So with 2:08 to go, the Rams have no timeouts remaining, and we're in the third quarter.
And Ed was talking about Isaac Bruce's toe touching the ground or whatever, but Ed didn't see that last shot. He came on the air too quick. He didn't see that last great camera shot.
We're going to have to get you down there.
That's right.
St. Louis forced to punt. Tim Dwight back deep at the 10. Mitch Berger standing at his own 39. Pops it in the air. And it's fair caught at the 10. A 36-yard punt. Here's a question for you. To date, which player should be the 2002 NFL MVP? Bledsoe, Brett Favre, Marshall Faulk, Rich Gannon, Priest Holmes, Donovan McNabb, or LaDainian Tomlinson? Cast your vote at NFL.com. Who do you like, Brent?
I love those two running backs in the game today, but my heart tells me to go with Drew Bledsoe after what he went through in New England last year. And just a phenomenal pass.
The MVP?
He's got no D in Buffalo. If he had a D, he'd be undefeated.
He's not the MVP.
Yes, he is.
1st and 10 at the 11. They hand it off to Tomlinson. And Tomlinson goes nowhere. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Adam Archuleta with the tackle. Tonight on CBS, Oscar winner William Hurt stars as FBI agent Robert Hansen in a true story of the worst traitor in American history. Find out why he did it and the evidence that gave him away. A CBS television event, Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story tonight on CBS. Second down 10 at the 11. Tomlinson over the left side. Tries to turn the corner. And is out of bounds close to the 15. Tommy Polley chasing him out of bounds.
And we saw earlier Tommy Polley not catch him when LaDainian Tomlinson scored a touchdown and the acceleration to the outside. Tommy Polley that time was going full boat, and he can really run and make some plays for this Rams defense. Might be their best athlete on the defense.
So it brings up a 3rd down and 8 at the 13. They need to go to the 21 for a 1st down.
Yeah, this might be a good time to run a draw or screen. Nothing too dangerous right here. Backed up. Burning clock at the end of the quarter.
They're 3 of 6 on 3rd down conversions. And the Chargers call timeout. Some confusion at the line of scrimmage. And that's their 1st timeout. Big 3rd down coming up.
Oscar winner William Hurt stars as Robert Henson, the perfect FBI agent and the perfect family man.
I'm so proud of you.
He was also the worst traitor in U.S. history. Find out how he did it and the evidence that gave him away.
Isolate him. Give him a new job with no access.
It's Bab. I'm faithful.
Who are you playing with? Them or yourself?
Master Spy, the Robert Henson story. CBS tonight.
Tonight on CBS, join Mike Wallace, Ed Bradley, Morley Safer, Leslie Stahl, Steve Crost, and company for an all-new edition of 60 Minutes. That's tonight on CBS. 24-14, closing moments of the 3rd quarter.
I want to know who you think the MVP should be. I'm a little salty about you asking me. And
I think it's Donovan McNabb so far.
Oh, the Eagles are looking good today.
Well, they're losing today.
Okay. Just checking. And there's one of the MVPs of this game, Donnie Edwards.
3rd down, 8 at the 13. They need to go to the 21. The handoff, Tomlinson with the 1st down and more. LaDainian Tomlinson rumbling, gets all the way up to the 39, a gain of 23. And a flag on the play against the Chargers.
And the official signaled face mask, which is really strange for an offensive group, unless one of the linemen got his hands up into the face of a defensive lineman for the Rams. But what a great call. And we talked about the fast flow defense of the Rams. A little misdirection, fake reverse, quick
Personal
trap.
foul, face mask, offense, number 69. Half the distance to the goal. Repeat 3rd down.
Ed Ellis.
Boy, and that was a huge play. And what a break for the Rams. Let's watch Big Ed in the middle of the play, coming out here. Got the block. Oh, they're going away. And you see that arm extended. And that's a dangerous play. And then not only that, he lays on top of the defender. Big Ed, you don't want to do that backed up after a big hitter. Oof.
So instead of 3rd and 8, they have 3rd and 14 at the 7. Here's the handoff to Tomlinson, and Tomlinson stopped at the 9. Make it the 10. Lewis coming up with the tackle, a gain of 3. So that's the end of the 3rd quarter with the score: San Diego 24, St. Louis 14. We'll be back to St. Louis after this message and to word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is the most contaminated site in the U.S.
Where is that? Anniston, Alabama. Who did it? Monsanto. 60 Minutes tonight.
Don't miss JAG, Tuesday on CBS. It's all here.
NFL Sunday Ticket is brought to you in part by Super 8.
I can't stay here another minute.
Not what you need to hear? Then Super 8's where you need to stay. As clean as can be 1,900 times over. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
This place? For that kind of money?
Not what you need to hear? Then stay here at Super 8. Clean, comfortable rooms because we inspect them more than any major economy chain. Clean, friendly Super 8. All the room you want.
I want my child to experience the wonderful things available online, but her safety is important to me. That's why we chose America Online. AOL invented parental controls and made it even easier to use. I can set limits, who she can talk to, where she can visit, no different than our other rules around the house. I trust AOL. I feel better knowing she's safer. After all, she's my baby.
better parental controls on America Online 8.0.
Here you go. You just programmed your new digital video recorder.
So now I can watch all my favorite shows whenever I want?
Yes, sir.
So if I just walk out the door right now, it'll record?
Automatically.
I'm stepping towards the door, and I'm not missing a thing.
Right.
It's prime time, and I'm leaving the house. I am now on the porch.
Introducing DirecTV Digital Video Recording. Now you can watch what you want, when you want to watch it. Visit these retailers for a demo today.
Scoring by quarters. Darren Bennett ready to punt it away, standing 5 yards deep in his own end zone. High wobbly kick. Wilkins from the 42, and he throws it to the sideline. What a play! He throws it to the sideline.
And Gus, I think he threw that forward, and you see the flags down.
Trey Bly running the football. It would be a 34-yard return.
Boy, and it sure set up perfect. The problem was that ball just went forward by about a yard or two. You can't throw the ball forward. You got to throw it behind the place where the ball was caught. Here it is, right here. You see Wilkins, and here comes the receiver back. And you can see the ball clearly going forward. And, you know, a big part of that is when the receiver has to move up 2 steps to catch it. One heck of an idea.
So they'll move it back. Start of the fourth quarter, 24-14.
The 200 horsepower Chrysler Sebring convertible. Now from Chrysler, our 7-year or 70,000 mile powertrain limited warranty, because love is a commitment.
When I look at Steve and Jenny, I just think, wow. Don't they look great? Especially Jenny. We all remember what she used to look like. You know, really plump and, you know, not fat, but, you know, big boned, you know, wide. You know, she had girth. You know, the diets, there was tons of them, but the one that worked best for her was stopping eating. You know, just no food in here.
Hi, I'm Emmett.
And I'm not.
We may not look it,
but we're a lot alike.
We both like giving back to the community.
And we're both considered quite stylish.
And we both believe that phone service should be simple.
Oh yeah, like 10-10-220.
It's cheap, whether you use it a little or a lot.
99 cents for all calls up to 20 minutes.
And there are no monthly commitments.
So you only pay for the calls you make. So, what do you think of the shirt?
Too loud.
What do you think of the shirt?
Dial 10-10-220. CBS Thursday, when big-time boxing comes to town, all hell breaks loose in the ring.
Dead boxer.
And out.
Gang member. Welcome to Fight Night.
All new CSI. Then a teen goes missing. But why would his sister lie and say he was dead?
Who told you to tell us the body was Williams?
All new without a trace after CSI, CBS Thursday.
24-14 here in the fourth quarter in St. Louis. Gus Johnson, Brent Jones, the two key plays in this game. San Diego coming up with 2 fumble returns for touchdowns.
Yeah, great aggressive defense. One on the strip and one on with the helmet right on top of the ball. And receivers for the Rams have to hang on to that ball. And to have 2 turnovers result in direct touchdowns can really weigh heavy on your team.
Rams have it at their own 37. Here comes the blitz, picked up. Bolger to the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Wilkins. Here's what we just talked about, Brent.
And Alex Molden, you're going to see doing a great job right here. Left arm on top of the receiver, and then a rip with the right. And allowed the Chargers to tie it up, and then the shot right here on Marshall Faulk at the end of the half after 8.5-minute drive. Rams come away with nothing, and then the shot on Isaac Bruce. Ben Lever laying the wood, and there goes Donnie Edwards down the field after a great block by Quentin Jammer.
Second down, 10 at the 37. Bolger all day to throw, and once again he finds Bruce, who fumbles it again. And the Chargers have it. Unbelievable. Isaac Bruce having the worst birthday of his life. 2 fumbles today. And that's the 4th of the game for the Rams. Wow.
What am I looking for? A lot of things, really. Athletic, good looking, a nice body wouldn't hurt. Stylish, for sure. And none of this taking it slow stuff.
The 250 horsepower Chrysler 300M with a race-inspired suspension and the most powerful V6 engine in its class. It has everything you're looking for.
I've always had a thing for power.
Now from Chrysler, our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty, because love is a commitment.
James Bond knows exactly how he likes things to be done. The setup of his car, the equipment he uses, his vodka martini, shaken, not stirred, and which setting he prefers on his Norelco Spectra. And James Bond always gets what he wants. The new Norelco Spectra, Bond's razor of choice, set for comfort.
My older brother is Staff Sergeant Clarence Freeman of the United States Marine Corps. Since his deployment overseas for Operation Enduring Freedom, we still keep in touch while he and his shipmates defend America. You can bring other military families together this holiday season by joining the NFL and VFW in donating to Operation Uplink. Just log on to NFL.com VFW to find out how you can provide a prepaid calling card to a member of the military who would like to call home. This year, give to someone who gives you the gift of freedom every day.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Chrysler. Drive equals love. Norelco, America's #1 selling electric razor. And by AT&T Wireless. AT&T Wireless brings you M-Life, your mobile life made better.
Oh, look at the Edward Jones Dome from inside the Gateway Arch, 24-14. Isaac Bruce on his 30th birthday having one to forget. 1st and 10 at the 45. Here's the pitch. Tomlinson. And LaDainian Tomlinson written down at the 39 after a gain of 6. Jamie Duncan, the middle linebacker, with the tackle.
And you're going to see a heavy dose of LT right now. And usually you say LT, you think defense, but we're not talking about Lawrence Taylor. LaDainian Tomlinson going to get a lot of carries here. 14 minutes left here in the 4th quarter.
The Edward Jones Dome in St. Louis, and it's been a fumble-filled game for the St. Louis Rams as LaDainian Tomlinson takes it to the St. Louis 31. Turnovers, a story for the Rams, disastrous. First, here's Isaac Bruce fumbling. This just happened, but all game long in the first half, Mike Martz's team has fumbled the football, 2 fumbles resulting in touchdowns on fumble recoveries for San Diego, and the Chargers lead it 24-14.
Chargers done a great job stripping the ball for one, putting a helmet on the ball for another, and you see Isaac Bruce there with his 2nd fumble of the day.
1st down and 10 at the 32. They fake the pitch. Freeze firing, incomplete. Intended for Steven Alexander, his tight end. And the St. Louis Rams have come out in this game flat, undisciplined, and fumble prone.
Yeah, and I think one of the things that really kind of marks the game for them, you saw them burn 2 timeouts at the start of the quarter and then a challenge here at the end of the 3rd quarter that was not overturned. They have no timeouts left. And so we're just at the start of the 4th quarter, and even if there was a significant play that they needed to challenge, they couldn't even challenge it right now without any timeouts.
Let me say the St. Louis Rams offense has really struggled today. 2nd and 10 at the 32 for San Diego. Play action, Brees setting up, looking. Tim Dwight took his eyes off the football. He had the ball right in his hands, but Tim Dwight takes his eyes off the football, incomplete.
And that's a classic case. Tim Dwight was thinking touchdown, just beating the receiver or the defender with speed right here. And you see him turn that head. He was trying to get into the paint, but taking your head off the ball at that last possible second hits you up in the shoulder pads and it bounces off.
Makes it 3rd down and 10 at the 32. Chargers need to go to the 22 of the Rams for 1st down. They're 3 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Here comes the blitz. Picked up. They hand it off, and no room there for San Diego's LaDainian Tomlinson. Now let's go to New York and Jim Nantz.
All right, thank you, Gus. An update here on the Philadelphia game. Some folks were watching this earlier. Indianapolis in again. It's James Mungro from 10 yards out. His 2nd touchdown today. He has 114 yards. 35-6. Back to you.
I guess Dion knows who James Mungro is now.
Yes, he certainly does.
The pregame show said, "Who the heck is that?" Got to have him on the show here. That'd be nice for James.
Bennett standing at the 47. Terrence Wilkins back deep. End over end kick. Takes a bounce and gets out of bounds inside the 15. So that's where the Rams will have it, down 24-14 with 12 minutes to go in the 4th.
Got your attention.
Tell me what you know of James Bond.
He'll light the fuse on any explosive situation.
James.
And be a danger to himself and others.
What happened to you?
Bond. I could use a fast car.
Your new transportation. Torpedoes, eject seat.
No, you're cleverer than you look.
Better than looking cleverer than you are.
Pierce Brosnan. Die Another Day. Rated PG-13. Starts November 22nd.
Gee, honey, you never got homesick before?
I know.
I thought they said you hurt your right leg.
Oh, yeah.
With all its comfort and luxury, nothing brings a family together like Chrysler Town & Country.
Band camp.
We better go.
Get a leather trim seating credit of up to $1,670 on LXI and limited models.
Skip, that is a great idea. I'm gonna get some creamer.
Can't get in.
Hey, Tom. Did you get in? Huh?
When text messaging works for you,
I did. Good.
that's M-Life from AT&T Wireless. Your mobile life made better.
CBS Monday, born at a wedding.
Hey, look, Abraham Lincoln.
Don't take a picture, you'll regret.
No one's gonna know it's your behind.
It was my front.
An all-new King of Queens. Then, it's the concert event of the season. Get ready for the Wiggles.
It's like a mosh pit for 3-year-olds.
All new Yes Dear after the King of Queens, CBS Monday.
24-14, San Diego with the lead. St. Louis, though, with the football at their own 15. Remember, this Rams team can score a lot of points in bunches. They can score points with no problems. But the keys to the game so far, the turnovers. Fumbles on the part of the Rams. The Rams were up 7-0, and then the fumble here resulting in a touchdown. Marshall Faulk heading toward the end zone, fumbles at the end of the half. Isaac Bruce fumbling today, and Donnie Edwards returns it 82 yards for a touchdown, and then the Rams driving once again. And a fumble. Mark Bolger on play action underneath Marshall Faulk, and Marshall Faulk toppled by Donnie Edwards, and Faulk is hurt. Marshall Faulk hurt. He's dragging that knee. Or is it the ankle?
And it might be the ankle, and Donnie Edwards just tackled him and twisted him right over the top, and maybe that shoe stuck in the turf.
He gets up. Remember, Faulk went into the locker room in the first half to get retaped. He is suffering from what is called plantar fascia.
And that definitely looks like an ankle. You see the tackle by Edwards. See if Marshall's foot gets rolled over right there. And holy cow, I'm just glad that Marshall Faulk was up after that, because that does not look good.
Wow. The numbers on Faulk coming into this game, he had rushed for 150+ yards 3 consecutive games, and he's in a lot of pain on that bench. The heart and soul of this St. Louis team. 3rd down 5 at the 20. Lamar Gordon replaces him. Over the middle, incomplete. Ricky Prohl, the intended receiver. And the St. Louis Rams will be forced to punt it away. It's really hard to get off to an 0-5 start and then make the playoffs. Take a look. The Rams starting 0-5. Some teams have done it, but no team starting 0-5 has gone on to enter the playoffs.
Unfortunately, the Rams have been on a roll the last 3 weeks, but this looks like the first 5 weeks Rams instead of the last 3 weeks Rams today.
A lot of mistakes. Here's the punt. Tim Dwight backpedaling, starts from the 26. And Dwight is wrapped up and taken down at the 34. A 54-yard punt, an 8-yard return. Not a good sign for the Rams.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Bright copper kettles and warm wooden mittens. Silver white winters that melt into spring. These are a few of my favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things.
Gentlemen, tonight we leave our mark on the game of football. Yeah! We will not, however, leave our mark on the football. Come on, give it up.
How do you use your
You and I
Sharpie?
talked about this before. Come on.
The new Jeep Liberty Renegade. It gives you the power to conquer nature. As well as the ability to protect it. The new Liberty Renegade.
Philadelphia Eagle Donovan McNabb and his mom brought Jim Gilbert Campbell's Chunky Sirloin Burger. With loads of hearty sirloin burgers to fill him up right. He didn't leave a scrap.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Nextel. Nextel, how business gets done. And by Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Cold, down, easy.
Welcome back to St. Louis. 24-14. Marshall Faulk trying to work out that ankle. Not putting a lot of pressure on it, but this is one of the toughest men in the NFL. If there's any way that he can get back in there, he certainly will. Meanwhile, Curtis Conway runs the reverse. Conway getting down the sideline. Out of bounds at the 41. A 6-yard pickup. Now coming up next year on CBS, it's game 2 of our doubleheader. Some of you will see San Francisco taking on Kansas City, while others may see the Patriots battling the Bears. Check your local listings. That's coming up next here on CBS. And your boys, your homeboys from San Francisco, playing good football this year.
I told you the worst thing in the world is to pick your team to win the Super Bowl, but I told you at the beginning of the season.
You think they're going, yeah.
I think they're going.
Jeff Garcia. Terrell Owens.
There's no reason why they shouldn't. They've got the guns to do it.
2nd and 4 at the 41. Here's the handoff to Tomlinson. LaDainian spinning and picks up the first down. Some hard running by this young man. A gain of 5.
It sure looked like there wasn't a whole lot of holes to run through, and he just gets small. That's one of the things they talk about in the locker room. Just get tiny and get through the hole. I don't know how you do that. Turn around, keep those legs churning, but bounce right through that hole. How about when LaDainian Tomlinson talked to us about catching the ball? We said we're so impressed with his hands. He said, I've always been able to catch. As a little kid, used to play those games where I tried to make great diving catches, one-handed, all those deals, and come up with the big catch.
Throwing up in Waco. 1st and 10 at the 46. Tomlinson again following his blocks, pops it free down the sideline. LaDainian Tomlinson eating up the Rams now. Tomlinson out of bounds at the 24. It's a 30-yard gain.
And watch the blocking on the right side of the line. Von Parker, number 70, pushing the hole, making it that hole available to Tomlinson, who's getting small, and once he gets through there, he gets quick. You see the speed, and I think the thing about this young man that's so impressive is he can get the tough yards between the tackles, but he's got the speed to get outside, like we just saw right there. Explosive.
And you have to credit John Butler, the general manager of San Diego, for making the trade, getting Tomlinson, and giving up the pick for Michael Vick as Fletcher is pulled down from behind at the 19.
And I agree with you. In fact, I think John Butler is the best football guy in the National Football League. No question. He's came over to the Chargers from the Bills a couple years ago.
Holding offense, number 60. 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
It's Ball, the center. As Marshall Faulk takes off his shoe, and he may get retaped, but John Butler came over from Buffalo, and he has done such a great job in San Diego as the general manager of the Chargers, not only selecting the right players but picking the right coach.
Yeah, and of course Marty Schottenheimer and John Butler, what a lethal combination. And you talked about the selection. Look at the young players that this Charger team has, and you talked earlier about Marty Schottenheimer bringing in structure and expectations for this team, and they're well on their way.
First down and a long 20 though at the 34. Tomlinson, another flag on the play on the opposite side of the field at the 35. Offside against St. Louis.
Offside, defense, number 79, 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
And after last week, there were some articles written on the Chargers, and some of the writers said that there was space on the Chargers bandwagon because people were jumping off. And at 6-2, playing St. Louis today, it doesn't get any easier down the road. As you look at their upcoming schedule, they'll take on San Francisco, Miami, Denver, Oakland, Buffalo, Kansas City. What a killer schedule.
That is a brutal schedule. Hey, you need a hand back up on the bandwagon? You want me to lift you up?
First and a long 15 at the 29. It wasn't me, Parker. As Tomlinson picks up maybe a yard and a half on the play.
Now, I was telling you this was the bandwagon bowl today.
Yeah, you said that.
A lot of people were jumping back on the Rams bandwagon after winning 3 in a row, and after that brutal, horrifying game against the Jets last week, I think people were Geronimo jumping off the Chargers bandwagon. But I can always lift you back up onto our Charger bandwagon.
Oh, it's your Charger bandwagon now. Okay. Thank you, Brent. Second down, 14 at the 28. Here's Breeze, the handoff. Nowhere to go for Tomlinson. And this Charger team playing some disciplined football, almost mistake-free. But last week, a totally different story against the Jets, especially on special teams.
That's 8 games worth of blunders, and they did it all in one game. And they just, hey, if you're going to pick a game to go ahead and just explode, look at all these deals. Allowed a punt return for a touchdown, could have been 2 if Bennett didn't make a tackle. Lost fumble, PAT block, kickoff out of bounds, botched onside kick, field the punt at your own 5-yard line. And that's, like I said, that's 8 games worth of ugliness. And Steve Crosby said, hey, we're going to fix these things along with Marty Schottenheimer, and they fixed them today.
3rd and 13, 27. They need to go to the 14 for a first down. And the Chargers determined to just run the ball. Another flag on the play in the backfield. Maybe a holding penalty against the Chargers. Yes, it is.
And I think Toniu Fonoti.
Ah, you blew that one.
Gosh darn it, I was on a roll.
Toniu Fonoti.
You think you got it right, don't
I know
you?
I got it right.
Holding offense, number 71, 10-yard penalty, repeat third down.
We'll give you another try. Try it again.
Toniu Finoti.
There you go. You said it fast enough.
Youngest man in the National Football League. He's got a size 18 shoe.
Size 18. Big man. Take a look at those feet. Those are the two biggest feet in all of pro football.
There you go. You're a basketball guy. How big are Shaq's shoes?
I think it's 23.
I think you're right.
Size 23.
So the question of the day is, can Toniu dunk?
Third and 23 at the 37 for Drew Brees, sprinting out of the pocket, looking backside, nobody home, and Brees just wisely slides down, keeps them in field goal range as he picks up 3 yards.
And you know, at this point, Gus, that's a long field goal. I don't think you want to give the Rams an opportunity to have the ball in the 40. I'd punt it, and there's Darren Bennett on the field. Be a 50-yard attempt. If you miss it, the Rams get the ball on the 40-yard line. You don't want to give them possession, good field position, and Darren Bennett does that great rugby kick with the ball spinning backwards right here. Is going to drop it inside the 20 with that reverse end-over-end kick. And I think this is the right move for sure. No timeouts left for the Rams, and we're almost at 5 minutes.
And they're going to give Bennett a little more room to punt this football, as the Chargers.
Delay of game offense. The penalty is declined. It's still 4th down.
So the Chargers trying to get a little more room, and the penalty is declined. So Bennett standing at the 49, and watch how he kicks this ball, folks. He kicks it almost backwards. If you can keep your eye on it. He wants that reverse spin on the football. And he gets it. And it bounces back. Perfect for Darren Bennett. He is one of the best in the game. And the Rams are pinned inside their own 5, a 30-yard punt. Don't forget, tonight we started up with 60 Minutes, followed by an all-new Becker, then a CBS television event, Master Spy, the Robert Hansen story, starring Oscar winner William Hurt. It's all here tonight on CBS, America's most watched network.
And Gus, if the Rams are going to have a chance right now inside 5 minutes, 4:58 left, they're going to have to go no huddle, hurry up offense. They've got to get 2 possessions. They have no timeouts left. There's got to be a sense of urgency on offense.
Marshall Faulk going to the sideline with an ankle injury. (24-14) the score. In St. Louis, the Rams have fumbled this football game away. A flag on the play, so a free play for Bolger. Mark Bolger scrambling out of the pocket, taken down. It's complete. Lamar Gordon with the reception, a gain of 5. And offside the call against San Diego.
Offside, defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, repeat first down.
That's Junior Seau, but Brent, to look at this thing from an overall perspective, the Chargers have played mistake-free football.
And I think that the way that they started off with the Rams scoring really made them question themselves, and then it came out on defense and turned it around. You see the strip by Alex Molden right there, a scramble to see who's going to get the touchdown. Chargers score right there with a big touchdown. Then LaDainian Tomlinson, speed to the corner. You see him run right by Tommy Pauly. They had another big play for the Chargers D.
1st and 5 at the 11. Bolger throws the slant. It's caught. Great catch at the 26-yard line by Torrey Holt. And another look. They got close. Isaac Bruce with the 27-yard touchdown reception, but then Bruce fumbling. Donnie Edwards picks it up, rambles 82 yards for a touchdown. Bolger underneath, incomplete. He led Holt a little too much on that play.
And that's a dangerous place to be if you're a wide receiver. You know, Rodney Harrison is patrolling the middle of the field. I think Donnie Edwards was back deep on a deep linebacker drop as well. And you can afford to do that when you know the other team has to go hurry up offense and don't have any timeouts left.
And Bulger, 26 of 36, 324 yards, his career high, no interception.
I think the kid's been spectacular today. The receivers just haven't held on to the ball.
2nd down and 10 at the 27. Bulger again over the middle, caught Isaac Bruce at midfield. Now remember, this Rams team out of timeouts. It's a gain of 23, but they can score a lot of points. And it won't take them very much time. As they say, boxers want to throw punches in bunches. Well, the Rams can score points in bunches. There's Bulger out of the pocket. Fires. Ricky Prohl with the catch at the 40. Donnie Edwards with the tackle. St. Louis with the no huddle right now. Bulger calling the plays at the line of scrimmage.
And a good sense of urgency for the St. Louis Rams. You see so many teams just walk up to the ball and waste precious moments.
Bulger to Prohl, breaks a tackle, stop and start, and a shoestring tackle by McNeil at the 33 after a gain of 6. And the Rams get back to the line of scrimmage quickly. It's all Mark Bulger right now. Bulger looking like Kurt Warner. 2nd and 4 at the 34. Bulger going up top for Isaac Bruce. What a catch! Touchdown! Oh, man! Isaac Bruce! Wow! A one-handed circus catch for Bruce.
And I think Isaac Bruce is saying, hey, Quentin Jammer, welcome to the NFL. It's going away from him. He's going to tip it back inbounds to himself. You see Jammer falling along the sideline. And Isaac Bruce seeing that ball up, and Jammer with great coverage. But when it came time to make the play, Bruce got that hand up and tipped it back inside to himself.
Here's the extra point. It's up and good. Isaac Bruce atoning for his mistakes. He's fumbled a couple of times. Bruce on his 30th birthday, 8 catches, 139 yards, 2 touchdowns, and we've got a ball game here in St. Louis.
This is Rodney Harrison of the San Diego Chargers. Rodney helps the United Way build stronger communities by generously spending time with senior citizens and engaging in good citizenship.
That's messed up.
Rodney Harrison and the good citizens of his community.
24-21. 3:06 to go in the 4th quarter. The scoring drive. They go 6 plays covering 94 yards in a minute and 52 seconds. They can score points in bunches. And Mike Martz's team back in this game. Remember, though, they have no timeout, so a decision. Do you onside kick it right here, or do you kick away?
It depends on how much confidence you have in your defense. If you do onside kick it, obviously that's a 1-and-out scenario. You're going to give the Chargers good field position if you don't get it. If you kick it deep, you need a 3-and-out from your defense. You're going to get 1 stop, and it looks like with the bunches of Rams at the bottom of the screen, they're going to go for the onside. But Gus, this also might be a little pooch down the field. A little fake onside action. Could go either way, but no timeouts puts your back against the wall.
So here we go. The onside kick popped in the air. Dre Bly, skying, brings it down. And the St. Louis Rams recover the onside kick.
And Gus, the guy that usually gets the least credit for an onside kick is the kicker, Jeff Wilkins. What a spectacular kick. Watch him top it, and it bounces straight up in the air, goes past the 10 yards, and Dre Bly skying through the air like he's going up for a rebound. And what a great job by Jeff Wilkins, giving his guy a chance to get it. And you see Dre Bly get up, get air. And look at the Rams bench.
No timeouts for St. Louis. All the time in the world. for this high-octane offense. 3:06 to go. First down and 10 at their own 46. Bulger having the game of his life. Out of the shotgun and a whistle.
I think Torrey Holt was moving on the outside.
False start. Offense, number 81. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And you got to know better. We've talked all along. Wide receivers can't jump off sides. You're going on ball movement, not on snap count. But Gus, the Rams need to get down to about the 35-yard line to be in Jeff Wilkins' field goal range.
But they are thinking score right here.
Well, you're Mike Martz, and that's, you got to love the aggressiveness of that guy as your head coach. They are thinking touchdown.
We'd like to welcome those of you that saw the end of the Indianapolis-Philadelphia game. 1st and 15 at the 41 for the Rams. Mark Bulger out of the backfield. Gordon with the catch, breaks a tackle and gets inside San Diego territory. So here's the story. The Rams have fumbled it 4 times today. Marshall Faulk is on the sideline with an injured ankle. But it's been the coming out party for Mark Bulger. He's thrown for over 400 yards today. Trying to lead his team back. Gordon again stays in bounds and is drilled by Jammer at the 42. Along with Vernon Fox, a 4-yard pickup.
Now that wasn't the worst move in the world because he went back in and got the first down. You got to get the first down first. You've got time. You got the 2-minute warning still. Most people say, hey, you got to get out of bounds. But that wasn't bad. Get a couple extra yards and get the first down.
1st and 10 at the 41. 2:08 to play in the 4th quarter. The San Diego Chargers lead the Rams 24-21. We're in St. Louis at the Edward Jones Dome. Gus Johnson along with Brent Jones, and what a game it's been. The Rams have been flat, undisciplined. They fumbled the ball, resulting in touchdowns for San Diego, but Mark Bulger leading them back. He's thrown for over 400 yards today. And the Rams have it at the San Diego 39. The numbers on Bulger. Empty backfield. Play clock winding down. Did they get it off? I don't know.
Illegal snap by the center. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
But for St. Louis today, regardless of the mishaps, they have continued to fight in this game. Moments ago, Bulger putting this one up in the air, and one of the prettiest plays that you'll ever see. Isaac Bruce, and then an onside kick with no timeouts remaining. Dre Bly plucking it out of the air, and here we are. A white knuckler for Mike Martz. And the Rams, they've won 3 straight. 2nd and 13 at the San Diego 44. The pitch. Gordon with room. Gordon tripped up, loses the ball, but he will be down at the 33-yard line. And Gordon, a little stiffness in his arm. Look at this hit by Jammer. And Harrison, and he lands on his head. Back after this.
Come on, hon, just tell me what soaps you want. This isn't really my kind of place.
Dad, I told you, lilac.
Lilac? Just use the stuff I got at the hotel.
Dad.
That's Nextel, right?
Yes.
And the chamomile, too, and honeysuckle.
How about just some soap-scented soap?
It's that cell phone with the walkie-talkie, right?
Yeah.
So cool.
You should do their commercials.
Commercials? I want to be a serious actress.
My kids ignore me, my dog ignores me, and now my remote ignores me.
Talk to LiftMaster and get the world's #1 professionally installed garage door opener. Our handy wireless keyless entry mounts on your door frame to open your garage door without a remote control or keys. The temporary private password option is great for friends and service people. Buy a LiftMaster and get a free mini remote control, a $34.95 value. Hurry, offer ends November 27th.
Fred, who knew 1 cup of coffee could do that much damage?
Fred,
Is a printer supposed to smoke like that?
Hey, Fred, I think I fried the motherboard and the fatherboard, too.
Dealing with technology is hard. That's why CDW makes buying it as simple as possible by having brand name technology products in stock so you can get what you need when you need it.
Fred, where are you going? My email's still down.
CDW, the right technology right away.
Survivor Thursday, messages from home will bring some castaways joy.
I wish you were here.
And others to tears.
I love you, sweetie.
But now, clues from their personal lives could be used against them.
This guy doesn't need the money. That'd be enough to vote him off.
In the ultimate Survivor Showdown.
The tribe has spoken.
All new Survivor, CBS Thursday.
And Gus, end of the play. Watch Lamar Gordon. Rodney Harrison's going to stick his helmet right on the ball. And boy, that ball comes out simultaneously when his helmet hits. Awful close.
So the Rams have it. Empty backfield. 3rd down 4 at the 35. 2 minutes to go. They're 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Bolger underneath throws a rope. First down, Torrey Holt with the grab at the 24. And the Rams are thinking touchdown. They're already in field goal range. Bolger spiking the football with 1:42 to go. No timeouts for St. Louis. They ran out of timeouts in the 3rd quarter.
And guys, we've talked about Mark Bolger having all day to throw all day long. And this Charger defense, even with their blitz, haven't been able to put a whole lot of pressure on him. He hasn't been hit a whole lot. And when they've given him time in these soft zones, he's picked apart the defense for the Chargers. His only problem has been his wide receivers fumbling the ball.
500 yards in total offense for the Rams, who trail 24 to 21. Gordon in motion out of the backfield. Here comes the blitz. Picked up over the middle. Isaac Bruce with the catch at the 9. Harrison with the tackle. 1:33 to go. Bolger wants him to get to the line of scrimmage. And Marty Schottenheimer wants a timeout. 1:25 remaining in the 4th, and they're on their feet in St. Louis.
Gus, I don't know if I take that timeout right there. If I'm the Chargers, Bolger was going to spike the ball, and you lose a timeout because you might get the ball back and need to put on your own drive at this point. And I think the Chargers were just in disarray trying to line up, but the Rams were coming up to the line of scrimmage, and Bolger was making the movement down like he was going to spike the ball to kill the clock. Not a great time to take a timeout.
Don't forget, coming up next, the doubleheader continues. Some of you will see Kansas City, San Fran, or New England and Chicago.
Well, one of the hallmarks of the San Diego defense has been bend but don't break. And they're tough inside the red zone. They've given up a lot of yards today, but getting points on the board is a whole different deal.
Under Coach Martz, the Rams so crafty on offense, especially in the red zone. They can score with the best of them. So keep your eye on Ernie Conwell. He already has a touchdown today. He's number 84. And he'll line up in the slot. And here's a tackle-eligible play. Watch number 70. As Conwell comes in motion. Play action. Bolger looking. Incomplete. 1:19 to go.
And that's almost better that the Rams didn't catch it right there. Gordon, because if he catches the ball, he's tackled in bounds and that clock's running. And Mark Bolger has to know at that point, hey, just if nobody's open running crossing routes down inside, just throw it out of the end zone.
Junior Seau, the veteran warrior for the Chargers. He's been the leader of this team for so many years. 13th season. Here comes Bolger. 2nd down goal at the 7. 3-receiver package. Bruce in motion. Here comes a blitz. Bolger throwing on the right. Touchdown! Isaac Bruce.
And how about the throw by Mark Bulger, putting it right on his outside shoulder and letting Isaac Bruce sneak that ball across the goal line. And what the officials were trying to figure out was Isaac Bruce's knee down? And had that ball not crossed the goal line yet? They gave him the touchdown, and Isaac Bruce atoning for some earlier fumbles.
Fumbling twice today. Isaac Bruce gets a hug from Kurt Warner, but the star of this game, folks, has been young Mark Bulger.
How about the pinpoint accuracy of the young quarterback?
He looks like Kurt Warner. Let's make sure Bruce got in.
Yeah, I think that ball was across. You see that knee hit at the end there. And inside 2 minutes, Gus, remember, you don't need to challenge it. Everything's reviewable, any questionable play. And I think Ed Hockley, the buffed referee, is going to go check out the monitor.
Mark Bulger, 36 of 48, 453 yards, 4 touchdowns.
And there's Kurt Warner giving him a big hug, saying, "That's a heck of a throw, big guy."
And I'm sure Kurt, as you take another look.
And there's Bruce's
knee down.
And I don't know if it had gotten down yet, but I think at that point he had shifted the ball to the top of his chest right there, and you see the ball's over prior to that knee hitting. And I don't even know if that knee ever hit prior to the ball getting across.
Remember, the plane extends even out of bounds.
And we saw his knee come down late, his left knee, but I think that was already a touchdown.
As Jerry Seaman used to tell us, that plane extends out of bounds and all the way around the world. Isaac Bruce on his 30th birthday started out to be a nightmare.
And boy, that timeout that San Diego burned here a few plays ago when the Rams were going to spike the ball, sure going to come back into play because the Chargers only have 1 timeout left. Bad time to waste that timeout, and I think the Chargers are shell shocked, Gus. Just look at them on the sideline. This is a game that they felt was in their hands.
So let's listen for Ed Hockley.
A review of the play shows that the ball crossed the plane of the goal before the knee came down. Touchdown.
Isaac Bruce, 10 catches, 163 yards, 3 touchdowns today, all thrown by that man, Mark Bulger.
And I think if I'm the Chargers, I want him to rule touchdown as well at this point. Otherwise, the ball's on the half-yard line, run another play. Maybe they don't get in. That clock keeps rolling. You need as much time as you can get now to put up a drive of your own. And you, like I said, you sure wish you had that extra timeout back.
Extra point is up and good. 28-24. But we have 1:14 remaining, and the Chargers have a timeout, and career highs across the board for Mark Bulger. What a perfect game. 36 of 48, 453, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. Brent, I'm going to ask you the question I asked you at the beginning of the game. If he continues at this pace, is there a quarterback controversy in St. Louis?
No, and it's because I got 3 letters for you, and I told you before, MVP, 2 times in a row. That man, Kurt Warner, or not two out of the last 3 years, and he can really make some things happen. And hey, Kurt didn't have the greatest start to the season. I think his shoulder was sore. He got the pins out of his finger the other day and started throwing the ball. But hey, let's talk about Mark Bulger, because that's the story of the game.
Okay.
And those spectacular throws. And we said at the top of the show, he is not a manage-the-game quarterback. He's better than that. He's a starter in this league. Mike Martz told us that. It just might not be for the St. Louis Rams, but Mike Martz didn't sound like he was letting him go anywhere.
Mark Bulger out of Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh holds 25 passing records at West Virginia. And coming into this season, he was just hoping to win the job as the #3 quarterback. He's done pretty well for himself. Chargers with time. Jenkins back deep. Jenkins pops it out! He's got to beat the kicker down the sideline. Ronnie Jenkins gets to the 45, and the Chargers still have life. A 52-yard return.
And Gus, if the Rams hang on to win this game, Jeff Wilkins is going to be my MVP. Watch the kicker. Watch the speed, acceleration. Ronnie Jenkins can run. He can't shake Jeff Wilkins, who had that spectacular onside kick just a few minutes ago, and then a game-saving tackle as well.
Remember, the Chargers need a touchdown. A field goal won't help them. They have a timeout remaining. First down and 10 at the 46-yard line. Breeze, and he's sacked. Dropped at the 45. Great pressure. Tyoka Jackson, the 8th-year man out of Penn State. And the clock is running. Breeze steps up in pocket, dumps it off, incomplete. Tyoka Jackson came up to us on Friday and said, hey, you got to mention me on TV. And Brent, I think it was you that said, well, you got to make some plays. He comes up with the biggest play on defense today.
That was a big play. Let's watch Tyoka Jackson right here. Defensive left tackle. Little arm over move and just a shot on Drew Brees. And that did not feel good at all. And that clock keeps rolling, and the Chargers with only one timeout left.
3rd and 19. Flag on the play. And Brees just spikes the football.
False start. Offense. Five-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
And Gus, you got to give credit to the fans here in St. Louis. This attempted drive, there's been disarray. That was a 6th false start today for the Chargers, and the fans are going crazy. You can see the problems the Chargers are having trying to communicate the plays. Drew Brees with hand signals out to his wide receivers. The offensive lineman can't hear the count. I can barely hear myself talk.
3rd down, 24 at the 40. Brees out of the shotgun. Steps up underneath. It's caught. And they get it out of bounds. It's Steven Alexander. A gain of 12. And that'll bring up 4th down long for the Chargers. And here's the 4th quarter rally. First, Mark Bulger finding Isaac Bruce on a great athletic play. An onside kick pulled down by Dre Bly. And then the touchdown by Bruce. So 4th down and 12. At the 48.
Got to throw it beyond the 1st down marker. None of that short yardage stuff.
They need to go to the 36 for a 1st down. Here's Brees stepping up. Fires. Got it. At the 30. An 18-yard pickup. What a nice throw by Drew Brees. Rashae Caldwell with the reception. And the young man from Austin, Texas, putting that ball right on the money.
And you just talk about staying composed. Watch Drew Brees step up. He's going to get some pressure, steps right up in the pocket, and hits the rookie out of Florida, running a nice deep in route past the yardage marker, and they call their last timeout.
So what do you do, Brent?
Well,
no timeouts remaining.
You've got to use
25 seconds. How many plays can you get off?
Well, you can probably get off 3 plays, maybe take 3 shots at the end zone. You've got to use the sideline, Gus. You can't use the middle of the field right now. Unless you want to get up and try to spike the ball. It's pretty aggressive play calling, though, and pretty risky at this point. Take some shots. A lot of times, guys are expecting you to use the sideline. How about a double move along the sideline? Maybe an out and up.
1st and 10 at the 30. Brees out of the shotgun. Looking down the sideline for Conway. Incomplete. Kim Herring coming over. And Herring shaken up. 18 seconds to go.
And Kim Herring eyeing that ball, thinking interception the whole time. And Curtis Conway gets his arm in there and prevents the interception. Quite a collision.
Herring may have injured his shoulder. He stays in the game. 2nd down, 10 from the 30. They can't throw the ball over the middle of the field. The clock may run out. Brees out of the gun. Brees pumping, looks backside. Intercepted. Intercepted. Dexter McLeon with the interception. And what a comeback by the St. Louis Rams.
And you see Drew Brees pump, trying to go with a little double move the safety out of there. But McLeon not being fooled, going up and making the grab.
Mike Martz remains cool. He remained cool the entire game. He knew his team could score points. And Kurt Warner, one of the happiest men, Mark Bulger, stays cool as well.
And what a day by Mark Bulger.
What a day.
And we talked about his pinpoint accuracy and his strong arm. And we said all along he's not a manage-the-game quarterback, that he can be a starter in this league.
And Mark Bulger, what's his contract status?
I think he's tied up for at least this year, but he's still a young player, so he's still restricted for, I think, 2 more years. But that's going to be a question a lot of teams around the NFL are going to be asking this offseason.
And without Marshall Faulk in the lineup, on the sideline with the injured ankle, Mark Bulger leads the Rams to victory. He'll take a knee right here. And that's it. What a rally. The St. Louis Rams win their 4th straight. Here they come. NFC West 28-24 as Marty Schottenheimer and the Chargers walk onto the field shocked. So for Brent Jones, I'm Gus Johnson saying so long from St. Louis. 28-24 the final score. Coming up next, it's doubleheader action as Kansas City takes on San Francisco, or the Patriots battle the Bears. Check your local listings. Mark Bulger, the game of his life, 4 touchdowns. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
Welcome back.